And we are live. How's everybody doing tonight? My name is Anthony Brian Logan, and you're watching ABL Live. I thank y'all for being here tonight. You could be anywhere in the whole wide world, but you're right here with me, and I definitely appreciate you for that. It's quite a few things happening. Of course, the main thing is Iran. They admitted they shut the plane down. I think we all pretty much gathered that right when it happened. And there's a lot of protesters who aren't happy about that. They're calling Soleimani a murderer. They're calling the regime a bunch of murderers. They're not happy with the guy at all. And I think this may be a moment that we all need to remember in history, in my humble opinion. Could I be wrong? Of course. But I think this is a definite shift in public opinion. You know, the left, they've pretty much been echoing what the regime say, which aren't liked by many. It's pretty weird how that works. They claim to be speaking for the Iranian people, but many Iranian people don't really like what's going on here. It's Trump's fault. That's what they want to say. They want to try to blame Trump for it, like there hasn't been fighting going on for years and years and years and years and years between the two of us. This is just the most recent incident. It's not anything new. How are you going to try to blame Trump for a thing that's existed for forever? Long before he came into office, long before Obama, Bush, Reagan, Bush Sr., everybody. We'll talk about all that and more on tonight's episode of ABL Live. And I thank y'all for joining me. I definitely appreciate you for being here. You could be anywhere in the whole wide world, but you're right here with me live on the show. And I definitely appreciate you for that. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. You guys know I always start with the screen like that, and then I go into my regular thing. It's all good. No need to fret. But we got a whole lot going on. Of course, the Iran situation, that's going to be the biggest. No doubt about it. People are in Iran, Persia, whatever you want to call it, protesting. Like as we speak, they're really upset about what's going on because they know who is responsible for what's going on in the country. You know, they want to try to blame Trump. You know, the media and the regime in Iran, they want to try to say, oh, it's Trump's fault because if it wasn't for him, you know, starting stuff with us, starting stuff. What do you mean starting stuff? Like I was saying just now, this has been going on for years and years and years and years. Like, come on, you just had the attack on the consulate. So you can't say, oh, because the Iranians sent the people to attack the consulate that we're going to shoot an Iranian plane out of the sky and then not take responsibility for it. Now, we did do that back in the 80s. Now, that's our fault. We did that. It was a mistake. We can't say, oh, it's the Iranians' fault. We did that. If you do something, take responsibility for it. Don't try to point fingers and be like, oh, it's not my fault because, he started it. That's like I think a little child would say. But we're all grown adults here. So this childlike way of living, it just can't really be that way anymore. It is what it is. The call-ins will come later. But right now, I'm just going to talk to you guys for a minute. Yeah. Now, Iran, of course, tried to cover it up. They're trying to bulldoze the place, talking about, oh, well, first they were saying they were not going to give up the black boxes. Now they're saying they are going to give up the black boxes. So I'm like, okay, which one is it? Are you going to give up the black boxes or not? That's all I want to know. Pick one and stick to it. And if you do give up the black boxes, are they going to be tampered with? Are they going to be altered in any kind of way? Now, I don't know if you can alter or tamper black boxes. I have no way of knowing that. But I think if you were to give up the black boxes, then that would be known. So I think they might have been kind of in the weird space. If they didn't give up the black boxes, then it's an obvious cover-up. If they do give up the black boxes, then the cover-up will be revealed. Like, you'll know exactly what happened. So they just say, okay, rather than getting embarrassed by having them do an investigation and find out that the plane was shot down through the black boxes, let's go ahead and admit it right now that it was a mistake. Talking about, oh, the U.S. Adventurism is to blame. U.S. adventurism it's your fault. You made a mistake. I don't think it was on purpose, because why would they shoot a plane down on purpose? Like, if you wanted to kill one person, they would have done it while the person was still in Iran. They wouldn't have had to shoot a whole plane down with innocent people, especially right now when all eyes are on them. People in the country are restless. They have all these protesters that were against the regime. Several hundred, if not over 1,000 of them were killed or at least shot and injured severely, with lethal ammunition. So it's like, okay, when you know you have an issue in your country with people that aren't really happy with what's going on, why would you at that moment shoot down 176 innocent people out of a plane in the sky? It didn't make any sense. It was a mistake. Like I said, we did the same thing to an Iranian plane back in the 80s. I think it was like 200 people, almost 300 people that got killed in that situation. It was a mistake. There was a Ukraine-Russia situation where a plane got shot down. Yeah, definitely a mistake. Now, it's not a mistake when they want to shoot drones down or when they want to, attack the U.S. consulate and do stuff like that. It's not a mistake when they do that. I think they do certain things on purpose, but some things are just a mistake. It is what it is. But we're going to see what happens with the media, how they're going to cover this going forward. Now, has the passenger list been revealed? I think that'd be interesting to see for sure. Yeah, I know the playoffs are on, but to be honest with you, I've not been watching the NFL as much as I had been before. I'm watching it here and there, but I'm more of a basketball guy. So that's, now if the basketball, if they got, the NBA playoffs and it's the finals or something like that, it's going to be kind of tough. But you know what? I have two monitors here on my desktop, so I could have the game over here if I really wanted to, and you wouldn't even know about it. I have it on mute and just keep glancing back and forth. But for right now, it's all good. I'd rather be here with, hanging out with the good people over at ABL Live. For sure. Yeah, they shoot drones. They do all kind of stuff. And then they also, the drone, was it in Iran or was it close to Iranian territorial waters? See, if there's an object in Iranian territorial waters, Iran may have the right to shoot it down or to detain it. Like, remember those ships that got caught in the Persian Gulf? It's kind of weird. Once you get to the Strait of Hormuz, it's kind of strange right there. Like, some of that is Iranian water. Some of that is international water. We're trying to stay in an international water boundary. Iran would say, okay, a piece of the flag on your ship crossed into Iranian territorial waters. Therefore, we have the right to detain you. That's the kind of reason and rationale they use. Same thing with the drone. They do little stuff like that, little technical stuff like that to be able to warrant an attack on you, when in reality, there's no attack that's actually needed. Yeah, there's spy ships that come to the coast of America or close to America. Like that's why the whole Cuba thing was an issue, because you had the Soviets or, communism right there. So if you have communism or a Soviet ally right, 90 miles from Florida, that's a problem. But that's a different story. My whole point is that Iran will say, oh, the drone was very close to us. The ship was very close to us in our territorial water or close to our airspace. Therefore, we're going to do something. But, it's usually just little ticky-tack technical stuff that if you were to bring a referee in, they might say it's too close to call. That's how they operate. Let me see. Yeah, they did bulldoze the crash site. Absolutely. And like of course, they're trying to cover the whole thing up. They don't really want that to happen. Will I be in Richmond this month? I'm still deciding if I want to go. Like, if I'm going to go, I'll probably drive up. I'm not really sure. That may happen. That's going to be on the 20th in Richmond. I may be there. I'll decide this week. I'll take calls at about 9 o'clock. And what else we got as far as Iran? But yeah, the protest has been really, really good. Really, how can I say? Really promising. Let me see if I can pull up a clip of a protest right now. Give me 1 second. Okay. Hopefully the volume's not too loud. Okay, there we go. Let's put it up. Now, obviously, they're speaking in Farsi or Persian, whatever language you want to call it, or whatever it is. What they're saying is Soleimani was a murderer. His leader was also a murderer. These are Iranians in Iran protesting. And there's plenty of protests just like this all over the place. So it's not just a matter of, a handful of Iranians in a random place and all this and that. Nah, there's plenty of protesters that are talking about this type of thing. And they've been talking about it long before Trump, did what he did with the general. Long before that. Long before the plane got shot down by the Iranians by mistake. Long before that. This was when Soleimani and his goons were locking up political prisoners, shooting and killing protesters in Iran. Iranian people protesting were getting shot and killed in the street. That's why they're saying he was a murderer, and so are his leaders. Okay, you killing protesters, minding their own business. You shoot down a plane, then you want to blame the U.S. So who's to blame when you shot the protesters dead in the street? You want to blame us for that too? How about when you locking up innocent people because they disagree with you politically? How about the fact that you can't have freedom of religion in Iran? If you're not Muslim, if you don't put on the beekeeper outfit, whatever, that might be a problem for you. You have no freedom. So is that our fault too? I mean, somebody might say it's our fault because they say, oh, the United States, they were over there doing this, that, and the third with the coup. It's like, listen, there's been all kinds of little things that have happened all throughout time. The issue is, what are you going to do right now to move forward? You're going to keep blaming us? I mean, if the people in Iran are upset with what's going on, you got to be able to fix that. It's as simple as that. It ain't really nothing else to it. Now, of course, the fake news is not going to cover that. The fake news will not cover the protests of people that are in Iran protesting against the regime because the fake news media are too busy parroting what the Iranian regime says. So they're not going to be out there talking about, anything else other than what they want to push to make the president look bad, to make the current administration look bad, and to make his actions seem like they're foolish and not necessary. They didn't do that thing. They didn't do that same thing when Barack Obama was drone striking everybody. Barack Obama drone striked an American citizen overseas, and nobody said anything about it. Not in the mainstream media news industry. They didn't really care about that. You wouldn't kill Gaddafi, you wouldn't kill Saddam Hussein, you wouldn't kill bin Laden, you wouldn't kill American citizens, you wouldn't kill innocent civilians. All that good stuff is perfectly fine. When Trump says, hey, we're not going to strike Iran because I don't want to kill innocent people. I don't want to do when you have a direct strike on particular people in different countries, that's bad. But when Barack Obama sends drone strikes to all these countries around the world, killing innocent people that don't necessarily pose a direct threat, then that's good. That's fantastic. All I'm saying is, if you feel one way about Trump doing drone strikes and whatnot, you got to feel the same way about Barack Obama doing what he did. It can't be a different point of view based upon who the person is. If you feel one way about an action, you got to feel that same way about that same action when someone else does it. Simple. All I want is some consistency from people. That's all I really ask for. I don't really see why that's so much to blame. Why that's so much to ask for. And we're not to blame for what's going on over there. But it is what it is. Oh, Obama can do no wrong. Obama's like Jesus Christ to a lot of people. He can't do anything wrong. So whenever there's an incident that happens, it's just like, oh, well, whatever. It's no big deal. No problem. It is what it is. But hey, I'm not surprised at all at what they do. It is what it is. Let me see. I'm just reading some of the comments here. But thank y'all for joining. I definitely appreciate you. Please like the video if you like what you're hearing so far. I'd appreciate it. It helped me out a whole lot just to get visibility out there and let everybody know that you're enjoying what you're hearing. Thank you. Now, what is the solution? That's going to be a difficult question because this is a complicated thing that has become more complicated as the years have progressed. Some have said that we helped ISIS. It's like, how did we help ISIS? Some say that Soleimani was fighting against ISIS, but it's like, okay, maybe he was, but ISIS as an ideology is not really going to be defeated. In my humble opinion, I feel like there's always an ISIS over there in that part of the world, always, because of the ideology. Once you get to the extremes, you're going to have what you have. That's just the long and short. You're always going to have that over there. Now, to what degree and to what extent it presents itself is, that's a question that can be answered, or it can be debated, not necessarily answered. But I don't think anybody would say that you can totally eliminate it. In order for you to eliminate ISIS, you got to change the religion and the ideology of that region. And that ideology has been there for a very long time. The dawn of man, you're talking about Mesopotamia, like you're talking about a very long time. So I'm not really sure if you're going to be able to send the U.S. over there, spend a bunch of money, and just change it. The most you can do is stabilize it for the betterment of the world markets because of the oil prices. If you got people attacking oil fields or taking it away from international banks, that's going to cause a problem with the world economy. Is it right? Maybe not, but it is what it is. That's just my opinion, though. So maybe I can be wrong. That's why I like coming on this show, because you guys are able to give your point of view, and sometimes it's different and sometimes it's right. If it's not what I say, you understand what I'm saying? So it's all good. All right. But thank y'all for joining yet again. We got super chats already. I'm going to read a few of those, and then I'm going to keep on rocking with the show. The calls will come at about 9 p.m. Eastern, so you got a little while for that. What I like to do with these shows is talk myself at the very beginning about what's happened in the most recent issues, talk with you guys, and then I take calls. So some people just want to hear me talk, and that's cool. You can hear the first hour, and some enjoy the calls more, or they might want to hear both. So I like to just make sure everybody has their boxes checked about what they want from the show. But let me get to the super chats. Shout out to Jeremy H for your donation. I definitely appreciate it. Shout out to Bucolic Buffalo, who says, ABL, love what you do, sir. Keep it going, man. Hey, thank you for your donation, boss. Definitely appreciate you. And I'm going to keep it going. As long as y'all here helping me out, helping me stay on the air, I'll be here doing what I do. Shout out to Mandatory Carry, who says, can't stay and play, but I'll circle back later. Keep fighting. Justice for USS Vicente. Hopefully I didn't butcher that. Commission the Irradiated Sea of Iran. Hey, thank you for your donation. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Barbara Kinsey, who says, thanks for the excellent reporting. I stand by our POTUS 100%, Trump 2020. Hey, I'm right there with you. Trump 2020, he will win. I don't see anybody on the left that has a snowball's chance, and you know where. But thank you for your donation. Shout out to Robert Wiles, hopefully I didn't butcher your name, who says, they know this time President Trump will stand and he won't abandon them like Obama did last time. They rose up and have a blessed night, ABL. Thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. Talking about the Iranian protesters, I suppose. Thank you for that, man. Definitely appreciate you. And shout out to everybody in the building. What's going on, Nick Taylor? I see you in the chat, boss. Now, we're not going to run out of oil anytime soon because there's still plenty of untapped resources. We have a lot of resources here. We're going to be fine. Now, it's not going to last forever. I'll tell you that, but it won't be anytime soon. Not at all. And I think by the time oil becomes, more scarce, you'll have technology that can not necessarily replace oil, but negate the relevance of oil. Like you have these electric cars. Obviously, you still need, petroleum, gas, natural. You still need that because you got to be able to, power these, these electric power sources. You still got to be able to power that, some kind of coal, some kind of way. So we're not going to be totally eliminating fossil fuels anytime soon. But as technology increases, we'll be able to become less dependent. I think that's probably the end game. Now, the left, they're trying to hasten this with money, but that's not really how these things work. You can't tax somebody. You can't tax innovation. That's not how that works. Innovation is birthed from necessity, usually, or from competition, or both. So a Tesla is, a prime example of competition, necessity, all those things. Here comes Elon Musk, a 3,000 IQ guy. He wants to have an electric car, wants to have it be affordable. If he's able to get the lowest model Tesla, all electric, down to like 20,000, I mean, you got a winner right there. You put it on a lease for like $150 a month, you got a winner. What they're also doing, you're talking about these big city planners, they're trying to, get more light rail, subway, that kind of thing. So cars will not be as needed. They're already doing that right now. I'm seeing that all over the place. Random light rails popping up, spending a bunch of money on it. They're trying that in California, but it's not too successful from what I've been able to see. Not successful at all. So it is what it is. Oil. You're not going to get rid of oil anytime soon. Plastics. I mean, yeah. The only thing you're going to be able to use oil less in is gas for cars in the future, but not anytime soon. Not anytime soon. Just like at one point, the U.S. was covered in smog. Like if you went to New York in the 70s or even like before that, it was smog everywhere. Your door, you couldn't even open your window, because if you opened your window for a period of time, your house would be covered in soot because it was just so much smog and smoke and whatnot coming from the factories. But since we've been able to upgrade technology and we've been able to just do different things in the world, you have less of that. Now, I think that technology has not increased as much as globalization has increased. That is probably why you have less smog and all that kind of good stuff, because go to Beijing, Shanghai right now and walk outside in an industrial area, you can pretty much not ever buy cigarettes and smoke 3 packs a day. You understand what I'm saying? Because the smog is so thick out there, your lungs are going to be just assaulted with smoke all day long. That's pretty much how that works. So you gotta have a car in California. I don't deny it. And California is a mess because you gotta have a car, but the traffic is horrendous. I'm hearing that it takes like hours to travel just a handful of miles. Like if you live in LA and somebody says, "Hey, I gotta go 8 miles away," you might as well not even go. It's just the traffic is just horrendous. And I think it's like that in New York as well. Going a very short distance takes you a long time because the traffic is just too much. That's why I like open spaces. Smaller places where you can kind of like have a little bit of room to breathe. That's what I like. They have oxygen bars in India. Hey, I don't doubt it. They probably got the same thing in China. That's why it's crazy to see people talking about global warming and climate change, and they keep wanting to point their finger at the United States. It's like, have you seen India? Have you seen China? Like, have you seen them in modern times? Like, you may see some Bollywood stuff, and you never see a cloud in the sky. You don't see. It's like, yeah, perfectly blue skies. They're probably in some island, the Maldives or somewhere. They're not in, Mumbai or Karachi. They're not there. Okay, they're somewhere totally else. Same thing with China. They might be in Macau. They're not going to be Beijing, Shanghai shooting the movies for the most part. It's so bad that I think that they photoshopped some pictures from when Zuckerberg went there, or it was just altered a little bit to not have you focus on the smog that was in the sky. Or I try to say it was a cloudy day. And that's not clouds, that's smog. But it is what it is. Yeah, the traffic is overwhelming. That's right, Joe. And New York, California, I can't deal with that crazy traffic. It's like that. It's getting like that in Virginia Beach area too with the traffic. But it's been like that because of all the tunnels. Oh my goodness. Like it could be 10 o'clock at night. You're trying to go to the peninsula from the south side or vice versa. And you'd be stuck on that bridge for like 2 hours because some, idiot wasn't, they're on their phone in the tunnel and they crash and they got to clear out the tunnel. And if you got a wreck in the tunnel, you're not going to go anywhere because it's just one lane one way, one lane the other way. It's pretty much a wrap. Yep. Shout out to Daniel Nordine who says Iran shot down airplane to stop Iranian U-1 nuke scientists from sinking like a canary. Deep state CIA cover up. Okay. Now, what were they going to say? that they were producing a nuclear weapon. Everybody knows that. But like, what else could it have been aside from that? But thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Shout out to all you guys in the building. If you like what you're hearing so far, please hit the like button. If you're not subscribed already, please do so for me. That'll help me out tremendously. Shout out to Mr. Anthropic One. Thank you for the donation, boss. He says, I'm not introducing any more women to ABL. My friend Maria from Pro Elite Nutrition in New Jersey thinks you're handsome and is in love with you and your videos. It's my fault for introducing you to her. I'm jealous, LOL. Well, thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. Hey, I can't do nothing about that. Whoever says I'm handsome or whatever, but I tell you this, man. Don't let her get cut by my girl over there because hey, I don't know what she might have a blade and send it through the airwaves and do something to her. But shout out to your friend and shout out to you. Thank you for the donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Justin Miller who says the Iranian government shooting down that plane only validates every harsh sanction and word Trump has said about their government. I love your work, ABL. Keep going. Trump 2020. Exactly. 100%. Thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. And the Iranians feel the same way. It's like, okay, you're shooting down innocent civilians in the sky, talking about it was an accident. Whether it was or it wasn't, that can be debated at a different point in time. But you also shot innocent protesters. So was that an accident too? When you got Iranian citizens protesting, you want to shoot them, kill them, put them in jail. Was that an accident? So it's a constant, it's constant things that are happening that the Iranian people are displeased with. It's constant things happening to the Iranian people from the Iranian regime. So it's like, what's really going on? The U.S. has not come and bombed Iranian innocent civilians. They've not done that, not anytime recently. And I don't know when they did it before, but definitely not under Trump. But the Iranian regime has bombed Iranian citizens, shot, killed Iranian citizens. So what are we talking about? But thank you for the donation, man. Definitely appreciate it. Thank you to First Fire 508 who says children's bones on Jeffrey Epstein's island. Didn't hear about that. It's interesting. Thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Dingus who says donating to the VCDL helps defend Bloomberg's attack on the Second Amendment. Now, what is a VCDL? Pardon my ignorance, but I've never heard of that before. Or maybe I've not seen it abbreviated that way. Thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Jeremy H. for your donation. I appreciate you, boss. And I got one more here that just came up. Shout out to, hold on one second. I missed it. Did I? I must have missed it. It's all good. But thank y'all for being here, man. Definitely appreciate you. You guys are fantastic. And what have we got going on? What else is happening? Now I got my topics on my header here. Let's see. Shout out to, now, did you guys see my video about Jillian Michaels, the fitness expert, the personal trainer, talking about, well, we should not celebrate Lizzo's body. Now, a lot of you guys don't know who Lizzo is. And I did not know who Lizzo was either until I was in Virginia for like 3 days this summer, and we had the radio on in the car, in the rental car, listening to 103 Jams, or Urban Station or whatever. And I heard this song every 5 minutes. So I'm like, who is this? Like, what song is this? And then I looked it up, and then it was Lizzo. I'm like, oh, okay, I see. And then I saw Lizzo at a Lakers game with both of her butt cheeks out. I'm not going to show that on stream because this is a family show, so I'm not going to show that. But she was twerking at the Lakers game, and people were saying, oh, she's so brave, she's so beautiful. What's brave and beautiful about going to a basketball game, being on the, front on the floor seats with your butt out and you're about 800 pounds? She's not that heavy, but she's big enough. Regardless of what, she could be slim and trim looking like Beyonce in 2005. It doesn't matter. Your butt can't be out at the NBA game. I mean, you're not at the strip club. You're not at a music video shoot. You're at a basketball game. Okay? Like, would you go with your butt out to a high school basketball game? You would get the police called on you, ma'am. I'm surprised she did not get the police called on her. Even some of them girls that were flashing stuff at the World Series, like some of these professional, cam girls or whatever, they got kicked out instantly. I'm surprised they didn't get locked up, but that's a different story. So back to Jillian Michaels. Here's the article that I want to show you. This is on NBC News. Now you see the, hold on, let me see if I can get the headline in here. All right, NBC. Okay, Jillian Michaels criticized for saying Lizzo's body shouldn't be celebrated. Now, again, I don't really see the problem. I don't see what she said that was wrong. Do you see the size of this person? Why would we be celebrating this person for being this big? And to give you some context, the reason why she said we shouldn't celebrate it is because she was doing an interview on BuzzFeed News, and then the girl that was interviewing her was talking about, oh, you know, I appreciate Adele and I appreciate Lizzo because we don't see bodies like those. We don't see bodies like theirs that often, or we don't see them celebrated. Now, maybe we don't celebrate it because it's not a good thing to be that big and to be that obese, because physically you're going to have problems. You're going to have health problems. And beyond that, we see that kind of body all the time. Like I was saying on Twitter, I can go to Walmart right now. I mean, I bet you the cash I got in my pocket on my physical person right now, if I go to Walmart, I'll see a person that is right around her size. Give or take 50 pounds. I could find a person that's like right that big right now. In a motor scooter, you know, just putting around, trying to get some snacks and some goodies and whatnot. Okay, first of the month, they got the cart filled to the top with nothing but junk. I'm not going to see their green vegetable in there. You understand? I'm going to see cookies, Pop-Tarts, hot dogs, beanie weenies, all that kind of stuff. You understand what I'm saying? But I digress. My point is that we see that kind of body type all the time. So why are we celebrating it? It's not good to be that big. At one point, I was bigger. I was never like looking like, you know, what's that movie, Willy Wonka, where she had like the blueberry and got like a circle like the sun or Pluto or whatever. I was never like that, but I was probably about 80 pounds heavier. One day I decided, you know what, I'm getting too big. I got to keep buying new pants. My shoes are doing like, my shoes are going like this. The soles of my shoes should be flat like this, right? But they're going like that. So I'm too big. I need to lose some weight. And I did. It's simple. Back away from the table. Don't eat that 12th slice of cake in 5 minutes. How about that? And Jillian Michaels is a personal trainer. How can you be a personal trainer, a celebrity personal trainer at that had a TV show, The Biggest Loser? How can you be that and then say it's okay to be this big? Your whole thing on the show was saying that, hey, we got to lose this weight. You got to stop being so fat. How can she go on TV and say it's okay to look like this? People were triggered. Oh, how can she say that? She's just afraid of fat people. It's like, man, look. The SJW stuff is getting out of control, okay? It's not cool to be unhealthy. You know, like, it's not cool to be a crack smoker. Are we going to say that if I call somebody a crackhead, that I'm being insensitive or I'm being somehow, I'm crack shaming? Are we going to say that? I mean, come on. It's not cool to be a crack smoker or a heroin shooter or obese or an alcoholic. These things just aren't cool. When did we become like, it's like music, like some of these so-called rap music. It went from varying degrees of things that weren't good. First, back in like 90s, like late 90s, 2000s, it was like, we're going to be the drug dealer. That was bad. Who wants to go to jail for a living? You understand? But now you're the drug user. Oh, it's okay to be on heroin, what they call it, lean. It's okay to be a dope fiend. It's okay to be fat. It's okay to be a drunk. Since when did that actually make any sense? But here we are. So, nah, Jillian Michaels, if you're watching, I salute you. Hats off to you. Don't change. Don't let them bully you into being a different thing than what you actually are. Don't be bullied into telling a lie. Tell the truth all the time. Honesty is the best policy, but I'll move on. Thank you for being here. Definitely appreciate you. How many we got in the building? We got quite a few. We got about 6:30 in the building. Good money. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the show. If you're waiting on calls, I'll get to the calls in a little bit, probably about 9 or a little bit before that. We'll get to the calls then. Hey, don't about to get triggered. Hey, if you drinking right now and you can't stop drinking, get some help for real. I want you to stay around. I want you to be able to enjoy the show. I don't want you messing around and pass out and got to get sent to the hospital, dehydrated, all that kind of good stuff. So yeah, just tighten up. But what else we got going on? Now the Virginia gun laws. People are asking me, am I going to go to Virginia? I may go to Virginia. I'm not really sure, but I may. I may go to. You guys know I'm from Virginia. If you don't know, I'm telling you right now, I'm from Virginia. I was born in a small town called Rand, West Virginia. Rand University. That's where Randy Moss is from. Jason Williams, the basketball player who was on the Kings and the Grizzlies for a while. He's also from that same place. He's from like DuPont City. That's like right down the road. It's like the next town over. Think about, you got a town that's like 1,000 people in it, no stoplights, just real small. That's Rand. Down the river, basically, you got DuPont City. It's right there. And that's the DuPont chemical plant. Is like right there in that little river valley. Once you go down a little bit, probably about 10, 15 minutes, you can go to Charleston. That's the capital. You go to town, as they call it. Very small. Charleston is the biggest city, and it has a population of 50,000. Okay, so you're talking about a very small place. I came from there as a baby to Virginia. So I've been all over Virginia, from all the way far west, like Big Stone Gap, Roanoke, Allegheny County, all the way up, like, Harrisonburg, up to like DC, of course, Northern Virginia, Richmond, of course, like Southern Virginia, Emporia, all the way over to like Virginia Beach, Norfolk, Chesapeake, Portsmouth, 7-city area. So I'm all about Virginia. I know about Virginia through and through. People are saying, oh, the whole thing with Virginia, the reason why it's changing from red to purple to blue is because of illegal immigration. Nah, that's not really it. You do have some illegal immigrants coming there, or immigrants in general coming there, but the reason why it's turned blue is because of all the high paid jobs in Washington, D.C. And people that are American citizens come from like New York. It's a lot of New York liberals down there, a lot of New Jersey liberals. Some people come from California, a lot of them. People that migrate to Virginia from other states. Like when I was a kid, I'm in the hood, like in the ghetto, right? As a small kid, half of my class was like New Yorkers, because what they would do is they would come from Brooklyn, Bronx, some of the real ghettos in New York where it's like they can't live. It's violent and expensive. So they came down from there to Virginia to have a better way of life and cheaper way of life. They also come to North Carolina from New York, but that's a different story. Anyway, my point is that Virginia is becoming more blue because of the liberals coming from other states to Virginia and taking their voting patterns with them. Now, my question would be to any of them, why would you come to Virginia for a lower cost of living and then bring the same voting patterns that made the cost of living higher where you were already? It doesn't make any sense, which is why when you go to DC, the cost of living is through the roof. Oh my goodness. There was a toll that was $6 one way. It might have been $8, matter of fact. I mean, it was crazy. And then once you come to like Hampton Roads, you got tolls everywhere. You got to have an easy pass to even get around. It's a toll on the downtown tunnel, a toll on the high-rise bridge, a toll on the Veterans Bridge. It's a toll everywhere. You can't even really move around. Jordan Bridge is like, I'm thinking probably about 5 tolls in like a 2 square mile radius. Something crazy like that. But that's pretty much how it is in Virginia. People that come there from other places, other states, and they vote the same way they voted in those other states. And now we got a situation on their hands where you have the regime in power, Ralph Northam, Mark Herring, and Justin Fairfax. And this is the craziest regime. And if they were a conservative Republican, they'd be out of there already. They would have been impeached long ago. Ralph Northam had a yearbook picture with himself or somebody else, quote unquote, in either a Klan costume or blackface. It was 2 guys. One guy had on the Klan costume. The other guy had on blackface. Now I'm hearing all kind of mental gymnastics to excuse it. They're talking about, oh, well, he was young. He was a kid, 25 years old in medical school, becoming a doctor, a kid. I don't think so. My dad was 25, married with a baby, me. So my man owned property. He had a job, was married for 4 years. That's not a kid. 25 years old is not a kid at all. If he was in the military, which he was, he would have already been like, what, 8 years, 7, 8 years in? Not a kid. The liberals in Virginia gave it a pass. It's okay. Little blackface with a Klan costume was all right. The Attorney General, Mark Herring, also had on blackface. Came out and said it, unprompted. Said, yeah, I put on blackface. I was trying to be Michael Jackson. It's like, what? Or Curtis Blow or something. He was trying to imitate one of the popular black singers of the time, a singer, rapper, whatever. And then Justin Fairfax, the lieutenant governor, had 2 rape charges against him, if not more. These are the people that you got running Virginia. Like I said, if they were conservative Republicans, impeach them, get them out. They're racist. They can't be in Virginia anymore. We will not accept this anymore. And I'm seeing think pieces from the liberal papers that would excoriate a conservative for anything. Like some of the same papers that were ready to just take Brett Kavanaugh and burn him at the stake were doing think pieces defending Brett Kavanaugh. I mean, not Brett Kavanaugh, pardon me, Ralph Northam. Oh, well, he's complicit. He's doing things to gain forgiveness. He's done this, he's done that. He's gained our forgiveness. Really? Word? Okay. So you're ready to just totally burn a man alive with no evidence that points to him in doing anything wrong, just off allegations. We're talking about Brett Kavanaugh. But then when it comes to Ralph Northam, this man has a yearbook picture with his pictures in it. One that has on the Klan costume and the KKK outfit, and it's okay. That's fine. Alrighty. You don't give Brett Kavanaugh or anybody else on the right time to atone for their sins or even the benefit of the doubt innocent until proven guilty. You don't give him that at all. You just say, oh, well, they said he did something, he must have done it. But when it comes to your guy, he could do whatever he wants as long as he says, I'm sorry, and he does something that I think is appropriate to make up for it. It's funny, but it is what it is. Oh, yeah. I forgot about Justin Trudeau. I almost forgot about him. Trudeau not only wore a blackface, but he was really committed to it. I mean, there was one video of him when he was very young, probably an adult, but still young. This man had all kind of stuff going on. Some inappropriate things in his pants to give himself a bigger image. I'll leave it at that. He had black hands and the face. Some are going to say, oh, he was young and didn't know any better. Let's just say you give him that pass right there because he's young, although it's not really a valid pass. But let's say you do that when he was young and that video came out. But then he's in the picture when he's 30 years old as a teacher working for a long time, been done with this. This is a grown man, okay? You might already got grays in your beard. You're an adult at 30 years old for 100%. He has on the Aladdin outfit with totally black face and a black can. And in the picture, he was getting kind of handsy with the girl. So it was like, what do we got going on here? That's fine, I suppose. We don't care about that, I suppose, if we're the leftist media, because we're all about defending our guy no matter what. But when it comes to the other side, any little thing they do, racist. Trump had the speech about Charlottesville, and people still say it to this day, talking about, he said that there were good Nazis, never said such a thing. In the same speech, he said, I am not referring to the neo-Nazis, white supremacists, or the KKK. I'm talking about regular, everyday people that have come here for the purpose of either wanting the statue to be gone or to stay. That is the very fine people on both sides he was referring to, but the media keep running with this lie, an out-and-out lie, not even a misinterpretation, an out-and-out lie. But Justin Trudeau can wear blackface multiple times, and it's fine. So stuff like that lets me know that I'm not. It's not just me making up stuff. I'm not just trying to defend Trump or to defend conservatives. Like, I'm seeing what's going on. They're very hypocritical in how they are able to react to certain things. It is what it is. Yeah, Trudeau, I mean, is a mess. I feel sorry for Canadians that got to do with that kind of stuff over there. Now, one thing I will say is that he showed some strength a little bit in this whole Iran situation, and you got to show strength here because the Iranians shot down a lot of Canadian citizens. So you got to show some strength there and say, hey, we want full, you know, responsibility. We want you to atone for your sins, is that and the third. He did good there, but that is pretty much all that I've seen that he's done that's good publicly. Now, of course, I'm not a Canadian. I won't see everything, but that is all that I've seen from him that is good, that has been publicized. Anytime I see him is usually doing something kind of embarrassing, but it is what it is. Oh yeah, Drake and blackface, that was funny. Yeah, Drake wearing blackface is a whole deeper issue right there because he's mixed black and white. Well, he's Jewish, black and Jewish, but that's a different story. Anyway, he's mixed, so it's like you got a mixed guy wearing blackface. It's like, what are you even doing? Like, what was the context of that? I don't really understand how that makes sense. Yeah, Trudeau already has an Ayatollah outfit in his repertoire. Trudeau is a cosplayer. Let's just be real and say what it is. He's a cosplayer and he enjoys dressing up as whatever he wants to. You know, if a particular group comes in, he wants to be fully immersed in that group. He'll sit on the ground, eat with his hands, not wash his hands, do whatever he wants to do when a particular group comes in. Put on a little hat, the outfit, whatever. You know, my thing is just be yourself. You know, if you don't wear little hats and outfits, don't wear little hats and outfits because somebody has come to your place. Just be yourself. But I guess, like I said, if you are a cosplayer, then that's what you do. You put on little hats, outfits, pants, shoes, whatever, to match whatever you got going on, or just for fun. He could just be a hobbyist. Who knows? Oh, said Drake owned up to it. Now, what was the context of that? I didn't really hear anything else other than him just. I did not see anything other than him just wearing the blackface. I never heard any kind of explanation to the whole thing. Uh-oh. Rapper 10,000 says Trudeau apologized for Iran and more they're dead, not Canadians. I don't know if I saw that one. That might be right. It might be wrong. Yeah, white chocolate. Absolutely. That's Jason Williams all day from DuPont City, West Virginia. Yep. And what else we got going on? Did I get everything that I want to talk about? Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, now Virginia gun laws. I kind of got off track. If so many laws that are going to come into place or laws that are being proposed, it's ridiculous. Now, when a person sees some of these laws by themselves, they appear to not really be a lot. May even kind of appear to be innocuous. But when you look at them all together, that's when the picture is totally painted. The whole thing is a death by 1,000 cuts. You got regulation here, regulation there, regulation there, regulation there. It all adds up to the point where you got this big tangled web of laws you can't really get through. So it makes it more difficult for the average person to get their hands on the gun. An average, law-abiding, regular citizen to get their hands on the gun. And then it regulates the kind of gun you're able to get. They're trying to ban assault weapons. What is an assault weapon? I've not really heard that defined very well. Assault weapon, like, okay, a rifle with what, certain kind of attachments on it, collapsible stock. Why is that an assault weapon? Why ban that? How does it make your gun more deadly? I don't understand how that makes any sense. Like, it doesn't. And then they won't stop here. They'll continue to just do certain things. They'll talk about, oh, you know, there are too many semi-automatic guns used in murders. That's just code words for saying that there are too many guns out there that we don't want to be out there. Because when talking about semi-autos, that's most guns that are on the market. All that it means is that you're not loading the ammunition each time you shoot. It automatically loads the next round. But it's not like an automatic fire where you can just hold the trigger and bullets spray out. That's a fully automatic. You know, people don't really have those. You can get a fully auto, but it's not easy. It's a lot of money. Illegally, maybe a little bit different, but legally, you got to pay a lot of money and contact the government, all kind of stuff. You're not really going to be able to get a fully auto in America. And if you do, then hey, hats off to you. You're a lucky person. But most people have semi-autos. They're going to try to blame. They're going to try to ban those. Talking about, oh, we can't have those in the hands of regular civilians. Only police can have them. But we saw in Texas that the police can't always be there. You know, you want them to be always there to protect you, but the reality is they can't. If somebody's breaking into your house, if they coming into your church and shooting, you got to end the threat right then and there. You don't have time to be trying to call the police, all this, that, and the third. You know, if you're in a fight, like let's say you have the church shooting, the person is right here with their gun, pointing it at you. What are you going to do at that moment? You can try to run, but it's kind of hard to outrun the bullet. You understand what I'm saying? The best chance of you being able to survive is being able to be aware of your surroundings and have your gun on you to protect yourself. If you don't have your gun, you're not going to be able to call the police and be like, yo, please come help. Then they got to assemble a SWAT team. They got to make it out there to you. It could be raining. It could be snow, whatever. They are not going to be able to protect you. So you got to be able to protect yourself. And these gun laws make it more difficult for you to be able to do that. So, yeah, it's not a good thing. Now, I don't know what the whole reasoning behind it is. It could be because they want you to be more dependent upon the government, to rely upon the government to help you with certain things. To, you know, you always go back to the government to get more and more laws to make you be more safe. Then that way they have total control over you. So whatever they want to do to you, they're able to do it because they have control. And you don't want that to happen at all. A fully semi-auto, hilarious. No such thing as a fully semi-auto, but people say that all the time. All right. But see, what do we got? Did I get everything? You got Slick Willie with underage girls and new pictures. I've not seen those. But no, it's no surprise to me if you see Slick Willie with pictures with underage girls. No surprise. You know, Jeffrey Epstein and Slick Willie were pretty close buds. He was on the plane of Epstein's, 26 times or something crazy like that we know of? How do you get on a plane that many times and not be involved with what he got going on with the underage girls? I mean, come on. Just add 2 and 2. Just as simple as I knew that the Iranian shot the plane out in the sky is the same rationale behind me knowing that Slick Willie is involved with some underage girls. If the Iranians were shooting at Iraqi air bases with the purpose of potentially hurting Americans 4 hours before this plane crashes from Iran, obviously they probably thought it was a threat and shot it down probably by accident. Or they were trying to use the whole thing as a ruse to say, oh, it was an accident, but they did it on purpose. Either way it goes, it's clear that it was shot down. Okay, now, if Epstein is a well-known pedophile in Hollywood, he has his own private island and everything, and you were on his private plane 26 times, I mean, come on. I'm not Albert Einstein over here. I'm not a rocket scientist, but I know that 1 + 1 = 2 at the end of the day. It's not really hard to understand at all. Alrighty. Somebody said we killed the Iranian general for no reason. Okay, now what are you basing that on? Just your feelings? Like, where is that information coming from? Islamic wasn't an LGBT supremacist. Hey, you never know what these people. Hey, one thing I tell you about these people, about these elites over there in the Middle East, you never know what they do. That man could have been on cocaine. He could have been gay. He could have been whatever. You don't know what these people do. No, the regular citizens behave one kind of way, but the elites are a little bit different. I was in Miami last year at the Amp Fest, and I'm at the bar having dinner, and I'm having a conversation with people that's right next to me. One person was from Saudi Arabia, I think, or Iraq, one of the two. the other guys from that part of the world as well, and they're telling me about how in Saudi you can't do certain things like drugs and whatnot, alcohol. That's not really accepted. But once you get into these elite parties and some of these off the beaten path spaces, oh, they got cocaine, they got hookers, they got all of that in there. Oh yeah, don't believe the hype like, oh, I'm so fundamentalist, I'm religious, please. Man, like once you get money like that, once you get power like that, you do whatever you want. Do as I say, not as I do. That's how they operate. So don't believe the hype about, oh, they're so fundamentalist and religious, please. Whatever. I mean, if you're killing your own people, how was that fundamentalist? I don't get it. I don't understand. Like, that's not even a thing that is speculation. He actually did that. Iranian citizens got shot and killed for protesting. How is that, Islamic? How is that following the what they call it? With the Quran? How was that following that? But it is what it is. I don't believe none of that. Once you get to be elite status over there, you do whatever you want. Cocaine, prostitution, all of that. Whatever you want. Like, once you get that money and that power and that status, you do whatever you want. Now, the citizens can't do whatever they want. Oh, it's strict rules on them. Mess around and get caught being gay in Iran. You get hanged in public. But if you are a person that has a little bit of power, a little bit of say so, you can be gay all you want. And it's fine and it's okay. You can't be doing drugs over there, but you got power, you got money, you can snort an 8-ball every day. Alrighty. Let's get to the calls in just a minute here. You guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Do not be afraid to call. If you want to call in through Skype, there is a number, an email for that in the description box. You're able to add me on that. We can go ahead and get rocking and rolling. Alrighty. Yeah, but I'm reading some of the comments here. Very interesting comments. Justin Miller says, Soleimani wasn't a general. He was a terrorist. We don't remember Hitler as an artist, do we? No, I'm not comparing Soleimani to Hitler. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. I mean, it's weird how people talk about, Soleimani was a general. He was an officer, all that, and the third. He was part of the government. But the Nazis were the government party of Germany. But we don't talk about that like that, do we? Interesting how that works, but I digress. Thank you to Joshua Perez, who says, I'm on Staten Island and it was great. A lot of American flags and Trump flags as well. Really went to go there again and met some of them. Hashtag Keep America Great 2020. Hey, thank you for your donation, man. Definitely appreciate you. Yeah, Staten Island's a whole different world. It's not like the city, like Manhattan. Long Island, kind of the same way. Things are different once you get outside of the matrix of Manhattan. And not even that far away, but it's like a world away, basically. Alrighty. Let me see. Let's get to the calls. Let me start my Skype up. See if you want to cooperate with me, then we get to go. Alrighty. Let's get to it. Where's Ivan? I don't know. Ivan's probably in the chat watching, as always. Yeah, Virginia's a whole different kind of place, man. The people in Virginia are not like what some may think. It's heavily fragmented when talking about population centers. Northern Virginia is its own different world from Southern Virginia and Western Virginia. It's like different states almost. For sure. All right. I'm doing well, Rosen. Thank you for your question. I'm just trying to get Skype started, but Skype, hey, it's one of the best programs on Windows, but it also sucks because it often does not work properly. Alrighty, I'm reading some of the comments here. There are 2 Californias. I've heard about that, like northern and southern. But would there also be like a third California? Or maybe it's just like if you take away Los Angeles and San Francisco, you get California. Maybe they can have like their own little enclave, and then California can be its own place aside from them. But it's a double-edged sword because all the money and resources stem from there, but at the same time, the money and resources are being misappropriated by the people that represent these places. You understand? Like Gavin Newsom, Nancy Pelosi, all these people, they're doing the wrong thing with the money. So it's like, what's the point in even having it? Nippin, what's going on, man? You calling early?
I want to go early as well. I wanted to be early
Alrighty, man.
for a
What's on your mind?
change. Oh, a lot. Let me just turn. Yeah. So, yeah, Iran finally comes not clean but yeah, they come clean about how they actually killed.
Yep, it did. It did kill. Well, it did shoot the plane down out of the sky. First, they were trying to say, "Oh, it was a technical problem." Then they were trying to say, "Oh, we had the black boxes. We won't hand them over." Now they're saying, "Oh, it was a mistake," and the reason why we did it is because of U.S. adventurism. It's like, how about don't blame us, blame yourself because you did it.
True. They never want to admit.
Not at all, not at all. But what else we got going on?
Um, well, over here, Boris has finally given the green light for Brexit.
So when is it going to start? Is it going to start anytime soon? What's going on?
I think it's gonna be within the next, I think 31st of January should be when it happens.
So is it going to like at that point will it be done? Like you guys will be gone from the European Union, or will it be a process that begins at that point?
I think it's a process that begins.
Okay.
Um, yeah. So political protests have been banned at the 2020 Olympics.
That's right. In Tokyo, Japan, there will be no kneeling, no fist raising, no political protest at all. They just want the athletes to be focused on and their performance, not all these sideshow acts of the political protests. They don't want it at all.
Good. Good.
That's right.
Well, I don't think Colin Kaepernick will be going to them, though.
Well, of course not, because number one, there's no American football at the Olympics. But beyond that, he's not going to be playing any kind of sports. He's done playing sports. At this point, he is an SJW, and that's pretty much all
Yeah.
that he does.
A martyr, basically.
Yes.
So, yeah. Now, I bet a lot of the left would say, "Oh, that's dictatorship and stuff."
Yeah, somebody. It was one person that's like a I think they throw the hammer. A female. She was talking about, oh, this is just total control. But it's like, hey, they have rules. You can't just violate the rules because you want to violate them. And that's it. If you don't want to follow the rules, then don't go to the Olympics. It's very simple. Just like if I don't want to put on certain shoes, I can't go into a gas station. If they have rules, I gotta follow them. That's just how the world is. You can't just do whatever you want whenever you want because you feel like it.
Well, that's a rule that you have to wear a shirt to go into a gas station. Well, a petrol station, as we would call them over here.
Oh yeah, like if you go like especially like on the side of the road, like if you're going on a road trip, some of these small towns they'll say no shirt, no shoes, no service.
Didn't know that.
Yeah, you can't just you got to be appropriately dressed.
I mean, imagine if it's a hot summer's day.
Nah, put some clothes on. Put some.
Although I do remember that, like a few years ago, I think it was in California too. Like a woman got pulled over by the police officers for driving in a bikini.
Well, that I don't know how that really works because you can wear a bikini, but that's weird.
Yeah, but that's weird. Unless you're in Saudi Arabia, of course.
Oh nah, if you're in Saudi, you're not gonna do that at all. You're gonna get
Stoned.
stoned immediately. You might get stoned through your car. Matter of fact, you can't even be driving really. So that's a different story.
No, you can drive now if you're a woman.
All right,
They finally lifted that.
yeah, finally after like 100, 200 years.
Yep, but they're still behind in a lot of ways.
Oh
And
no,
it'll
no,
probably
no doubt.
take another 100 years for that as well.
Right.
So Jillian Michaels has been fat shamed.
No,
So,
no, Jillian Michaels did not get fat shamed. Jillian Michaels allegedly fat shamed a fat person.
yeah. But what these people don't realize is that it's bad for your health. Asking someone to lose weight isn't making fun of them.
Right, exactly. I mean, and Jillian Michaels is a fitness expert. She's a personal trainer. She gets you fit for a living, so she can't go on TV and say it's okay to be overweight. Like, that goes against all of what she's been preaching for the past 20, 30 years.
Yeah. So what exactly happened?
That's kind of a long story.
Oh, so yeah, Virginia. No, he's not Terry McAuliffe. Yeah, Ralph Northam. He's basically done something about these gun laws again.
Well, it's going to be kind of an ongoing process, and it's really unfortunate. People are really protesting. They're fighting back against it. There's a lot of gun sanctuaries, also Second Amendment constitutional cities where they're trying to protect their gun rights. So people like Ralph Northam and his cronies won't take their gun rights away. So hopefully they're able to fight back and win some stuff because what he got going on right now is just really kind of crazy.
You know, it was only just over 20 years ago, Virginia was a solid red state. It was as solid red as California was blue.
Yeah, but you know what happened was people moving from different states. A lot of liberals coming from New York, New Jersey, Florida, even like as far as California to go to DC for those high paying jobs. Also to go to Hampton Roads and other places to live cheaper than they were where they came from. But unfortunately, they brought their voting patterns with them. So over a period of time, while this moving from different states, you had
That's
the
happening. That's
yeah.
happening to Texas as well.
Yeah, but see, Texas is a different story because Texas is so big.
Well,
Virginia is not as big. It's probably about I say a fourth of the size of Texas, maybe about one third of the size of Texas. So it was easier for us to kind of get conquered like that, unfortunately. But Texas is a big different story. But hey, I got a lot of calls on the line, so I'm gonna go ahead and get to them now.
yeah, it was nice catching up with you, ABL.
Likewise.
I have work on my work resumes on Thursdays, so I will only be able to do Saturdays until
I got you.
the middle of the semester.
All righty, man. Thank you for the call.
So I shall see you on Saturday.
Got you.
I shall see you then.
All right. Peace.
Peace.
All righty, you guys. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Thank you simply for the call. Most certainly appreciate it. Let me get the ring off, as I always got to do. Let me see. There we go. I think that worked. Let's go. And the phone lines are blowing up. I'm going to try to get to everybody as soon as I can. Y'all just hang tight. All righty, caller 219. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, ABL, it's Rich Guevara from Northwest Indiana. Shout out from the 219. How you doing?
Everything's great, man. About yourself?
No, I'm doing all right, man. I'm super excited that I got on your show. I heard the comment earlier about that there could have been a potential CIA cover up with the with all of this about the Ukrainians and all that stuff. I find that kind of interesting, but I don't think it's really that deep with all of it. I personally think that the Iranian government shot down that plane on purpose, and the reason why I kind of believe that they did it on purpose is because they have much more to gain by all of this being blamed on Trump. They have much more to gain by saying that they were acting defensively, and that it's really not their fault. But one of the things that I was thinking of is that if the Iranian government was on such high alert with protecting their airspace, why weren't they so cautious on watching which flights were coming into the country versus flights that were taking off within the country? And in my mind, that kind of tells me that they either have a completely incompetent government or they're very malicious, and they don't care what happens to who. They don't care what happens to. They don't care what happens to who or who it affects or why it's happening. We all know how many people died. There were 176 people on that flight. 83 of them were Iranians, 63 of them were Canadians, 11 Ukrainians, and a few other people, unfortunately, were from different countries. And I really don't think that it's a coincidence that flight contained 0 Americans. A lot of the stuff that happened recently came back from the one, I don't know if he was an Iraqi or an Iranian born, I don't know if he was born in Iraq or if he was born in Iran, but he was a U.S. citizen, a nationalized citizen, and he was killed in one of the attacks from Iran recently. I don't know if that's accurate or not. I guess that is kind of more of a question, but that was one person, and then that led up to the 5 attacks that we did in Iran, or I think that led up to the 5 attacks that happened in Iran. Then, they attacked the U.S. Embassy. Then we took out I call him Salami. Got that from the Hodge twins. I don't even want to say his name because he's scum to me. We took him out. And that was just, it doesn't start from there. We all know the history of all of this, but it started with that one dude, as of all of it got really picked up and got really heavy. But that flight had 0 Americans on there, and if that flight had as many Americans as it did Ukrainians, the repercussions from that would have been, a little bit more significant compared to us just sitting back and hoping nothing else happens from all that. But, I'm rambling here, but, and I don't know if I said this already, but in my mind, there's really only 2 explanations of why this happened with Iran. They either have an incompetent military or it's completely malicious, and when they attacked the U.S. airspace, they told the Iranian state TV told their people that they killed over 30 Americans, and that's coming from the source that I've heard is Ben Shapiro, that's what the Iranian state TV is telling their people, and right now they have all this blood on their hands, but they're not, their hands are free, they have no guilt. We have the Canadian media, we have the American media pointing blame at Trump, and there's no guilt going towards Iran, and at this point, I mean, that's kind of the reason why I'm leading up to believe that they did this on purpose, If they had any American blood, if they had any Americans on that flight, it'd be completely different. And I really believe that that's the reason why they selected that flight. And now, since we know that they lied to their own people, saying that they killed Americans after that attack, they could. This is speculation. It's all speculation at this point. But who's to say that they're not telling their own people that we're responsible for those? How many Iranians died? What was it? 83. They could be telling their people that we're responsible for 83 people, and if Canada's already saying it's our fault, well, 63 of those people were Canadian, so, their blood's on our hands now because, we have, people that sympathize with Iran. But I guess at this point, that's all I really have to say, and I appreciate you taking my call, and God bless you, ABL. I appreciate what you're doing, and I'm going to try to call you a little bit more to kind of get my point of view out, and I appreciate everything that you're doing, man. I really do.
Well, thank you for the call and support, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. God bless, man. God bless.
God bless. All right, shout out to the caller. Great call. And thank you all for being here. You guys know the drill. The number to call is 434-658-1220. If you want to get in through Skype, there is an email for that in the description box below. You're able to be right here in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen. All righty. I'm going to read some of the chat here. Let's see. I had a call, but I just missed it just now. Yeah, and everybody's trying to blame Trump, but like I said earlier, it's not Trump's fault. It's not our fault if you made a mistake, if you shot your own plane down or you did it on purpose or whatever. Now, there could be some validity to saying that they did that, trying to gain some sympathy or to try and make people be on their side, talking about, oh, we did it, but it wasn't like we did it because, for no reason. We did it because we had to be very aware of what's going on due to the Americans meddling, but that's gonna be kind of a hard one to really get off, in my humble opinion. That's not going to be easy one to just convince people of. But that was an excellent call. Shout out to everybody that's in the building so far. If you like what you're hearing so far, please hit the like button, and that'll help me out tremendously. Also, if you're not subscribed already, I don't know what you're doing, but go ahead and subscribe right now. Click the bell as well so you get notified when I go live or post a new video. Alrighty, but let me get to the next call. 203 on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, is this Anthony Logan?
Yes, it is. Who am I speaking to?
Camilla Carmona from Connecticut.
Alrighty,
How
man.
you doing, man?
Everything's great. About yourself?
Good. I just wanted to talk about the attack on Soleimani in Iran. I actually have an opposing view, and I was wondering to see if we could have like a little bit of a discussion about it.
Well, let's see. What's on your mind? Like, what's your viewpoint?
My viewpoint is that the United States has committed a war crime in the attack of General Soleimani, and that there's no place for us in that region.
Okay, why was it a war crime?
War crime because he was on a peace mission and he was on the front line against ISIS.
But how do you know that he was on the peace mission?
He was on a peace mission because I think the top government official from Iraq said that he was going to Iraq in order to talk to them and have lessened tensions between them and Saudi Arabia.
Okay, now the U.S. government say that he was plotting for more attacks on U.S. consulates in the region. Do you believe that?
No, I do not, because they have not presented any evidence for that, actually.
So where's the evidence that he was there on a peace mission?
The top Iraqi official has said that.
Well, the government here said that, like you're talking about the Pentagon and the government here, including the president himself, the top official of all officials, said that he was plotting on 4 more U.S. consulates in the region. So you have the top people here say that he was doing that, but over there, the top person says he was doing something different. So who are you choosing to? Why choose to believe one and not the other?
Well, it's because when they asked Mike Pompeo about it, he said their interviewers asked them, were they planning on attacking homeland? And he was like, well, actually they were actively plotting to fight Americans in the region. And so they use these weasel words to kind of get themselves out of it, and they don't have any evidence. They said he was actively plotting. If he was actively plotting, he wasn't really plotting. He was just thinking about it. We can't say for sure if he was actually thinking about it. And they said that it was an imminent threat to the U.S., but nobody knew who this guy was. Like, even before this happened, like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, nobody thought that this guy was going to attack Americans or anything, and he didn't, actually.
Okay, now, You keep saying evidence, but you don't have any evidence either way. So you're choosing to believe one over the other based upon how you feel, but there's no evidence either way. You don't have evidence that he was there on the peace mission. All you have is the word of a top official, and you don't have any evidence that he was. Wait a minute, hold on. You don't have any evidence that he was there to, bomb or attack more consulates in region. All you have is the word of an official. So what you're choosing to do is to believe one over the other because you don't have evidence. You don't have any evidence either way. I mean, is that fair?
Yeah. So okay, I guess. But why are we there in the first place?
Well, hey, that's a good.
Why did we attack him in the first place?
Well, like I said, because he was actively plotting to attack 4 more consulates, according to what.
But there's no evidence for that, though. There's no evidence.
Okay.
Just like you're calling me out for saying, oh, you have no evidence that he was on a peace mission, even though he was on his way to Iraq. You have no evidence to prove that there was imminent threat to the United States.
Well, you asking me a question, I can give you the answer, the best one I have. According to the sources that I have, that's why he was there. Now, I don't have their sources. I can't prove it, but that's what they say. So that's all I can really tell you. Aside from that, wait, hold on. Aside from that, I don't have the evidence that they have. I don't have their intelligence. I don't have the inside track on what exactly is going on as far as physical, tangible evidence. So all I can do is just relate to you what I've been told by the government, and that's it.
But this is the issue, though. Why haven't they given us this evidence? I see this as the same situation as Iraq and Afghanistan, where we were lied into these wars, and we're being lied into this war again. If it wasn't for Iran and actually telling us, telling Iraq soldiers like, oh, we're gonna attack this base, and then they told American soldiers, oh, Iran is gonna attack this base, let's get out of the way. That's why there was no casualties. So why are we in there in the first place, and why hasn't the government given any explanation as to the evidence of that this guy was actively plotting in the region?
Well, what evidence do you want?
I want evidence.
Like what? Like, because some things you're not going to be able to give, because you have to understand these things, you got secrets that can't really be revealed. So, I mean, what evidence would you like? Because some things you can't really actually get because it's secret. So what do you want?
Well, it shouldn't be a secret.
It is though. So, I mean, you can't just say, oh, just, the laws that are on the books and the way we do things and how we conduct business shouldn't be secret, even though it has been secret forever. Just change it because I want it. But like, again, the question to you was, what would you like as far as any evidence?
I mean, some form of evidence, whether it's in,
do you know?
Whether it's somebody that's in his circle that is telling Americans, or a whistleblower, any form of evidence, actually.
So,
like any form of evidence that this guy is plotting against Americans in the region.
So the word of somebody would be evidence, but the word of the president is not evidence?
No.
Oh, okay. So you take. Wait a minute. Hold on. So you take wait, sir. Wait a minute. So you take the word of some people, but not the word of other people, based upon what?
No. You're switching my words up. I take the word of somebody that is in his circle, which would obviously know what he's planning on doing. The president doesn't know what this guy's doing,
but look,
and he obviously doesn't know because he hasn't given any evidence.
You don't know what he knows, and you don't know. Wait a minute. You don't know what he knows because you're not there when he's getting briefed on certain things. You're not there when he's getting the information from his sources. Number one. Number two, you don't know who exactly is in Soleimani's circle or who was in the circle. It could be any random person off the street. They say, hey, this is one of his top aides right here. He'll come out and say anything that you want him to hear. So just like the Iranians came out and said that they killed 30 Americans, and people believe it in Iran, it's the same way they can get somebody, put them on TV and say, hey, he was trying to do X, Y, and Z. He really wasn't trying to go over there and bomb in the U.S. Soldiers at bases. And then you say, oh, okay, he was a guy in the inner circle, and I believe him. Meanwhile, it's a whole lie to get you to believe a thing that's not true. If you're going to believe the word of people, you can't just pick and choose based upon how you feel. If you want evidence, it's got to be physical, tangible, not somebody's word.
That is evidence. That is.
It doesn't make any sense. Do you, like, hold on. I gotta. Do you hear yourself? You're saying that the evidence you would like would be the word of some people over others, and it's nothing that you are actually basing that on outside of just how you feel.
It's about the credibility of the people that you're getting the information.
According to who? Who determines credibility? Who determines that? Is it you?
Somebody that is close to Soleimani. That would be evidence. If I just said, "Oh, this guy was planning to attack people," nobody would believe me.
But you did not hear what I said. They can bring up anybody from Iran, any random person, and say.
And they haven't. Though,
but how do you know that? You don't know. You don't know because you don't have any evidence. Like I said. They could bring up any random person. Sir, I'm not finished. They could bring up any random person from the street in Iran and say, hey, this guy is a Soleimani circle. And then, I'm not finished. And then they could say whatever they want. Or they could bring up a guy that's actually in the circle and he could lie and say whatever you want to hear. And then you're like, oh, okay, I believe that. This guy was in the circle and he said X, Y, and Z. It must be true, but no evidence. That's how they do. Like I said, they went on TV, the Iranian people, their officials, and they said, oh, we killed 30 Americans. And you believe it, but the Pentagon says nobody died. So who's telling the truth? Ain't nobody's coming back. Ain't nobody's coming back. Ain't nobody go on TV and say my son died or my daughter died or anything like that. So you're choosing to believe some people over others based upon how you feel with no physical evidence.
Anthony, you sound like a smart and competent guy. And I don't think you're understanding me. Obviously, they wouldn't get a random person from the street and anybody would believe them. That's not what I'm saying. How do
you know that? That's what I'm trying to tell you.
How do I know what? That they're a random person?
Yes.
Because people know who's in the government and who isn't.
Okay, and like I said, they could also get a person that's actually in his inner circle. Somebody that everybody knows, and they can lie.
Why would they lie?
Why not? Because it's propaganda. It's the same reason why they said 30 Americans were died. It's the same reason why they said they killed 30 Americans and it didn't happen. Come on.
Let me respond to that. The reason that they said that is because they're trying to save face. They don't want a war with the U.S., and that's clear. That's the reason that there were no casualties.
Exactly. Okay. So you see my point. So they lied because they had an ulterior motive. And the reason they would lie in this case is because they want to make Soleimani out to be a victim of U.S. aggression.
He is the victim of
okay. Aggression. And then they could just, and then they could have their person come out and lie and say, oh, Soleimani, he wasn't over there trying to bomb anybody. He was over there just trying to be on a peace mission. And you believe it.
He was. Because
okay, and my point has been proven.
Told me that. I've told people that. Everybody.
Okay.
Why do you believe President Trump, but they've offered no evidence?
I mean, I don't see.
Look, this is going to become another war.
I have to pick somebody to believe here. I don't have evidence either way, but I believe my government over. I believe my own government over the Iranians. If I got to pick, if they say, "Hey,"
why should you when they've previously lied to you about other wars? The
Iranians have already lied in this case. And I'm going to believe my own government over the Iranians. The Iranians have a reason to lie. Maybe the U.S. does as well. But I believe my own government over the Iranians, especially when the Iranians were proven to lie in this case. They said 30 Americans were dead, but nobody died. That's a lie. It's a clear lie that they want to push. Then they say, oh, well, the Americans, they're pushing lies about this. You're choosing to believe whatever you want, but okay.
Because it was a strategic decision by the Iranians to tell their people that they killed 39.
It was a lie, regardless of what it was. You can say it was strategy. You can say it was whatever. It was a lie.
Please let me talk, sir.
It was a lie. You can say, please, sir. Listen to what I'm saying. You can say it was whatever you want, but it was a lie. But go ahead.
Yes, it was a lie, but it was a decision by their government to inform Iraqi officials that we were going to attack a base, and they told their people that they killed Americans because all their people are unified and they want blood on them. They want American blood, and the the person in charge of Iran did not want that, and it's smart because now we're not in a war with them.
Okay, so you said everybody in Iraq is unified against America. Are you sure about that?
Iran.
I mean, in Iran. So you said they're all unified against America and Iran. Are you sure about that?
Yes. Yes.
So I've seen protests where I've seen protests where they're protesting against Soleimani and the regime, and before Soleimani was hit. Before the Iranians struck the plane down, there were protests in Iran where they were getting shot and killed by the regime because they were protesting against the regime. This is before Soleimani got shot. So how can they all be in unison? Wait. How can they all be in unison against the United States and what they did when before the strike they were protesting against them, and after the strike they're protesting against them? How does it make any sense?
Not after the strike.
I got evidence. I got video evidence. I see. If you want evidence,
you're asking me why would they protest against the United States? Why would they be unified?
No. My question to you was, you said that they're all unified. I'm saying if they're all unified, then why were there plenty of Iranians protesting against their own government, Soleimani and the regime, before Soleimani got killed and after he got killed?
Because they want American blood and they didn't get it. That's why they're protesting.
Okay.
They want war against us.
Okay. All right. But we've been on for a long time. Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you.
All right. That was kind of a long call. But all right. He said that all Iranians were in unison against the Americans after Soleimani got killed. But how does it make any sense when hold on. Matter of fact, if you've not seen the video that I have, I'm gonna show it to you right now. Matter of fact, hold on. Let me go to my Instagram page. It's on there right now. You can go to my Instagram page to see it for yourself. Instagram.com/Anthony B. Logan, ANTHONY, letter B, LOGAN. Now, this is after Soleimani got killed. Okay. Now, obviously, that's in Farsi, Persian, whatever. What they're saying is Soleimani was a murderer. His leader was also a murderer. Okay, this is after the plane got struck down. There are protests happening right now. It's all over the media. CNN, Fox News, Breitbart, everybody's reporting it. So I'm not making it up. You want evidence? I got evidence. It's right there. Matter of fact, let me bring it up right now. Okay, I'll bring it up right now just so we could be on the same page. Okay. Let me see. Hold on. Of course, Google ain't gonna really try to. There we go. Iran protesters curse Soleimani, chant death to Khamenei. In Iran. All right, that's one. That's PJ Media. That's one. Let's find some more. Let's see. All right, let me see. Now, CNN, they're hiding it. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, this whole thing is just BS. Let's get to the next call. 562, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, this is Todd, West Coast. How are you? I got some information for Iran's involvement. You can find it easily on the internet. You ready for it?
Yes.
Okay, look up on YouTube and type in Vice TV and look up the Iran's drug dealing in Iraq, the heroin, the meth, and the crack. And Vice did a massive hit piece on this like 2.5 days ago. So if you want more proof of Iran's meddling in the Middle East, they are known as the Middle East drug basket. You know, I mean, they took a card out of the CIA playbook, and what they're doing is they're saying, okay, if Daddy Bush can send drugs around the world, we're going to do the same. So anybody that's saying old salami baloney is not having his say so in Iran, from Iran to Iraq, they better check again. Now the girl that did the hit piece, I was really surprised because her work she should get actually a Nobel Prize for it, straight up. I mean, this is showing implicitness of how Iran is funding part of their war. You can't fund a war unless you have cash. Cold hard cash. Where are they getting it? They're getting it from Iraq and Syria. How are they getting it? They're selling heroin, meth, and crack. Oh, and all those pills you see? Yeah, who else is using that? I wonder which other fighters are using those in the, as they say in the military, the sandbox over there.
ISIS.
And, we have to follow who's done what. Now, I'm not going to say USA is all necessary, all pretty, because, we all know that Al-Qaeda is a big problem in the U.S., as well as the untold trillions that is a black hole in the Pentagon. We all know about this. But your last caller was, I think, a bit naivete on how things work in the world. It's called expositional consistency. And if you look at that, you'll see of different parts of the big puzzle. Part of it is, how are they making their money? What are they doing it for? What is their involvement in Iraq? Why? Well, ISIS is a great cover for them to cover in and bring in tonnage of heroin, crack, and meth. Now, when you look at the Vice hit piece, you'll see it. I mean, you'll see guys strung the all but Jesus out, and you're going, okay. You cannot have a big military without some form, it seems nowadays, of drug dealing to back it. Now, let me back up a little bit here and talk about China as well. China runs their military like Caesar armies, meaning each general is in charge of supplying those that are beneath them, okay? And that model is prevalent throughout the Middle East on how that is. So whoever the general is, he's in charge of making sure his fighters are happy and this and that and whatever. Well, if you need a guy to go blow up a vehicle, you're going to get him just drugged out like an owl with huge saucer eyes, so he can see where he's going until he, hits the trigger. Now, lately, if you've been watching South Front and other hit pieces about what's going on in the Middle East, you'll see on South Front that Iran is everywhere. They are everywhere. They have forces. People don't even want to talk about this. They're in Africa. They're everywhere. They're doing business with North Korea. And let's go back about 6 months ago. Do you remember the North Korean ship off the coast of Egypt that was bringing in our quote-unquote dummy round RPG rounds, which are like light anti-tank weapons and stuff? And they were caught by U.S. coastal patrols, and they made Egypt destroy the entire lot, okay? You have to see how this whole thing works. Now, let's go back to John McCain, okay? He has his place in it with Pelosi and others. And so that's my shepherd. Everybody should have a shepherd. They're wonderful to have around. But now you got to go with Pelosi and those in her ring. What do they have to lose? Well, where are they getting all these American-made drugs? I mean, when you look at the videos back from the ISIS, early on the ISIS wars, okay, look at the drug packs. It has American names on them, okay? So that was a underground CIA war through McCain backdooring with deals that only the sweet mafia gal herself could run, Pelosi and family and friends, okay? Remember, Pelosi's uncle was the mayor of Boston. He just passed away. The D'Alessandro family has been in this business for a long time. They just switched it. Instead of a, nickel and dime booze running, they're now in the worldwide drug running and war making, okay? And they're doing deals with people. And notice that Trump did not alert Pelosi, who Pelosi, remember, is she not on the Intel committee? She wasn't even told a thing, okay? There's your leaker, okay? You have another leaker. Adam Schiff was not told. These are your two leading people on the Intel committee, right? Well, gee, neither one was told. They were told what? I think it was 6 to some hours later. Hey, we just did a boo-boo-boo and this and that happened, okay? When you see what I've said before about expositional consistency, it's a biblical term. If you find it in one place in the Old Testament, you'll find it in another. And if you find it in the Old Testament, you'll find it in the New. It's just the New gives you the condensed, revealing form, in my opinion, okay, from my years of study of history and languages and God knows what else. And I do have a black belt in martial arts. I've trained in mixed martial arts for 30 years. And I know a lot of people, met a lot of people. I have 3 college degrees. I've graduated in the top 5% of my class. I've met some of the greatest people in the covert world you can imagine. But see, you're not getting a clear picture. And when you have a young guy calling in like that last guy, man, I would have shut him down quickly. I would have said, hey, but you're a nice guy, Anthony, and you do that, and that's your thing, and I appreciate that. But I would have said, look, guy, you're really off base because, for one, you don't have consistency on where everything is coming from. You don't have consistency on the backdoor contracts, okay? And if anybody's been listening to George Webb, all what I'm saying can be confirmed by his dot connecting, okay? The Oconus lures that were the little hussies that were the sex honeypots that got everybody in trouble, and now everybody's running crazy, okay? Now remember, Anwar, that guy, follow that name, the Pakistani, who's been doing all these other backdoor deals with guess who? Iran and other places, okay? And the Pakistani ISI, which is their secret police, the kind of like our FBI/CIA, okay? And you have to get this thing under one umbrella and see how all the pieces fit, okay? It's not just like, this. When you get a caller like that, I have to call in and say, hey, let's wake up a little bit here. This is not school like a millennial time where, teacher's going to reward you for calling in. Your last caller, you get an F for the class tonight, a major F, because number one, you didn't do your homework. 2, you didn't make the connections. 3, you went on your emotions and you wanted to connect it all together for your comfort zone. But see, it's not that simple. Okay, there are a lot of players. It's like a movie. There are many actors, and it's a theater. Why do you think they call wars theaters? Because there's many actors. Okay, so when you begin to connect these actors and start listening to the right people like George Webb and others, and you start reading books that make sense, not Jack and Jill and Dr. Seuss and all this other garbage. I'll tell you what, most of you guys that graduated high school, name 3 high school teachers you can remember. You can't even remember 3 after you graduate, the minute after you graduate. See, because they're not teaching anymore. And that's the dilemma we're running into about your last caller. They fail to do their homework. They fail to make the connections. And there's a lot more that are coming. Anthony, you have only heard a smidgen. And by the way, let's also talk about under the Obama program, that how these people with the Ebola are brought in. And by the way, they're brought in just right here recently. Last 2-3 days? They tried to get in over across the border. Okay, is anybody talking about that?
Yeah,
because it's all connected. All the backdoor deals that were going on long before Trump showed up. People bitch and complain about Trump, and they say, oh, he's this and that. But I say, oh, really? Let's go back 20 years. Was Trump?
Well, hold on. I know you're on the road, but I got a lot of calls on online, and I want to be able to get everybody on. So, hey, that was a fantastic call. You got to call back again sometime for sure.
I'm very interested in your show. I think you're one of the better ones out there. I think you have a cool head on your shoulder, and cool heads will prevail, my man. And the next thing you need to know, if you're not doing it, get in some mixed martial arts. Start doing some jiu-jitsu, Anthony, and wake you even more up.
All right,
straight
man.
up.
Definitely, man. Thank you for the call.
Thank you for taking my call.
All right, great call. Every now and again, you get a caller that just come on there and just drop knowledge. So, hey, free knowledge for all you guys. Hopefully, you were able to, pick up a little bit of information, learn something. 'Cause I learned a little bit right there myself. All right, you guys. Thank y'all for being here. Definitely appreciate you. We got 670 live in the building. The number to call is 434-658-1220. If you want to get into Skype and be in the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, there's an email for that in the description box below. Let me get to the next call. 253, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Am I on right now?
You're on live.
Oh, shoot. What's up, ABL? My name's Colby. I'm over here in the great state of Washington. How are you doing tonight?
I'm well. How about yourself?
Oh, I'm doing terrific. I'm just enjoying my lunch break right now. But no, I gotta say, it's definitely interesting little stream. But I'm not gonna take up much of your time. I just want to say that you're doing a hell of a good job. I'm pardon my French. You're doing a good job with what you do and whatnot.
Thank you.
And that little situation over there in Virginia, it's getting a little dicey. And I just got to say, what's the guy causing all the trouble over there? What's his name? I forgot.
Ralph Northam, the governor.
Oh yeah, the governor over there. If somehow he hears this, buddy, you got to stop this because you're really just asking for trouble. I'm just going to say that. But no, yeah, that's all I want to say. I'm sorry, I'm shaking. I wasn't expecting to get this.
It's all good, man. I know how it is. You call into a show for the first time, you kind of like a little nervous. I've been there when I first called in the shows. I was the same way, man. So I'm glad you're able to get through and holler at me, man. You got to call back sometime.
Oh yeah, for sure. And also the last guy that talking about evidence and whatnot. I don't get that guy. Like I'm probably around the same age as him, but I at least have a little bit more brains,
Right. That's I mean, because my thing is, one thing I always like to do is just keep consistent. If you want evidence, then it can't just be selective. Choosing to have evidence whenever you want. Just be consistent across the board. It just kind of makes sense to me.
Yeah, exactly. And you really can't go off of emotions. You got to go off like what's legitimate and whatnot. I mean, I really can't say much. I used to do debate in high school, and to be honest, I wasn't really all that good at it. But over the course of the years, I just learned like you just got to know your sources and whatnot. Just like you can't go by what other people say. You got to find it out for yourself and whatnot.
That's right.
Yeah. But anyways, I'll let you go, ABL. Thank you so much for taking my call. Like I said, thank you for all that you're doing, man.
Thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Have yourself a good night, and God bless.
God bless you.
All right. Bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Most certainly appreciate him. All right. Let's get to the next call. 240. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
This is boy JB. What's up, brother?
Everything's good, man. What's going on?
Man, that last call about the bomb, I'm like, dude, really? The bombs went this way, and I just don't think he informed really good. Shut up. Shut up. But yeah, these people losing their mind. They are actually rooting for our enemies. This is crazy. This is unheard of.
Yeah, it's pretty
That's
wild.
Unpatriotic. It's unpatriotic. Like it's driving me crazy. They're sitting around, literally wishing badness on the United States.
Right. It's wild. Especially when you're U.S. citizen. It's like, what are we doing? Like root for the home team. Come on. Like unless you want to go to Iran, root for them, and then see how that works out.
Exactly. Come on now. Come on now, like, and then he had people say, "We're sorry for what America did to you." What? I'm like, what kind of idiotic stupidity we right now that we can't have no pride for our own country.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, and then you got Nancy Pelosi who's finally, we're talking about finally releasing the documents to the Senate so it can get denied. You know what I'm saying, though? And then I seen the Trump rally in, was it Ohio, I think it was? Was Ohio? This week was Ohio, right?
It's been a lot of Trump rallies. I'm not really sure which one you talking about.
Yeah. Well, anyway, that's one I just ruled. And I'm like, yeah, it's looking real good nowadays. They have nothing going for themselves. And it's like, it's getting better and better. I'm watching this stupid debate come Tuesday, right?
Is it debate Tuesday?
Yeah, I think it's debate Tuesday. I think it's next week Tuesday or something. Democratic debate.
Wow, I didn't even know that until right now.
You didn't know that?
No.
Look it up. The people in the room probably tell you what's going on. Like, it's sickening to me. They still have not picked one candidate to run against them. And here it is, it's January. They're not giving themselves enough time to run a candidate, are they?
No, I mean, nobody even cares about these people. Like it's too many people still in the running. And nobody cares. I didn't even know. You know, I got to keep an eye on these things for a living. And I didn't even know it was a debate. I knew it was coming up pretty soon, but Tuesday, January 14th in Des Moines, Iowa, yep.
They suck. They suck. Straight up, they just suck. I mean, I'm like, yeah. I'm over it now. I'm like so over it right now. But anyway, ABL, great show. Besides EI calls, you have a couple of them. The ones from last week and Tuesday. I just be looking at people like, really? They call on your show, and they want to debate you with no facts. Feelings don't care about facts. Facts don't care about feelings.
That's right. 100%.
Am I right?
100% correct.
All right, ABL. You have a good show, brother, man. And did you get Batman yet for the VR?
Nah, not yet. But I'm gonna get that.
Yeah, it's on sale for I think like $7 now.
Oh, okay.
$8 now. Yeah, check it out. Great game. Great game. So you guys look at your hand and dial in everything. Call the car comes through in front of you. Yeah, it's pretty cool. Well, anyways, ABL, have a good rest of the day, brother. Peace, love, and joy, courage, juice, peoples.
All right, now, peace.
Peace.
Yeah, I had no idea that there was going to be a debate coming up on Tuesday. I've been seeing it. Like, you know, I'm watching the shows talking about, it's a debate coming up. And then, you know, there's only 6 on stage. I'm like, okay, that's nice. But, like, I don't even really care about the debate. Because at this point, it's like, all right, just pick somebody and roll with them rather than keep having these, you know, conversations. All right. I had a call and I was just a little too slow to the trigger. Can't really answer it. But you guys want to join the number to call is 434-658-1220. Let me go ahead and get to this call here. 310, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 310, you on the line. 310 got cold feet there. 702, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yes, this is John from San Francisco.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Oh, how you doing tonight, Mr. Logan?
I'm well. Can't complain.
Thank you. I just wanted to say one thing. I just came back a few days from New York visiting, and everybody who hasn't been to New York lately should head up there. Because let me tell you something, that Bill de Blasio is doing a hell of a job. The streets look clean. I didn't get accosted once. I walked in the middle of the night all over Manhattan. It's just like San Francisco. Once again, the fear-mongering. New York looks beautiful. Thank you to my hometown, to Mr. de Blasio, for doing a wonderful job. Now,
wait.
Yeah.
Why is it that anytime I see Bill de Blasio on television in New York, there's plenty of New Yorkers, there's random people booing him, they're complaining about him, he's barely coming to work late, putting his feet up on the desk like 10 o'clock in the almost afternoon coming to work. It's like, what are you doing? And then let's not forget to mention the money that's missing. His wife got some money supposed to go towards a particular fund and it's coming up missing. So I'm not sure if he's doing a great job in New York, but you can go ahead.
Well, first of all, it's partly due to racism, and the fact that his wife is a minority, and the whites can't get over that, just like Prince Harry is going through over there in England, the massive racism. Secondly, the fact is that New Yorkers like to complain. They like to have a scarecrow, a scapegoat, and that's what they're doing to Mr. de Blasio. He won overwhelmingly in the last election. If everybody hated him, as they say on the news, why was he voted in with a 75% victory? It's inexplicable. Secondly, sir, let me say one thing. I watched your video a few days ago on that overweight singer, Lesbo, I think her name is.
Lizzo.
Oh, I'm sorry, Lizzo. I'm sorry. Well, let me tell you something. No, I apologize to her. That is not her fault. That is a big bone structure. That is a lady that tries to give joy to millions of people. And let me tell you something. The people who are fat-shaming her should be ashamed of themselves because they ever looked in the mirror. They're disgusting themselves. So next time, check yourself when you're fat-shaming, not only you, but all these people who just like to pile on. There's nothing wrong, and there is no correlation, according to the American Medical Association, between obesity and health. And
really?
one other thing, yes.
Okay, so if you're like 1,000 pounds, I mean, isn't that going to have an impact on your health? You can't even move around at all. You like bedridden because you're so big. That's not going to hurt your health.
Well, she's not 1,000 pounds. What is she? 140, 50 pounds.
140 pounds. 140 times 5, maybe.
No, she's not that big. And let me tell you something else. You made a statement also. You said that you don't see elderly people who are heavy because they don't live that long. Do you ever take a look at Jack Nicholson? Do you ever take a look at a lot of the actors and actresses and athletes like Terry Bradshaw? They're 200, 300, 400 pounds, and they're in their 80s.
Terry Bradshaw's in good shape. He was an NFL football player, and Jack Nicholson is not that big. He's not nowhere near as big as Lizzo.
Well, it's a matter of degrees. The point is that it's how you're comfortable in your body. And I think that the people who fat shame her, including yourself, should be ashamed of yourself. Now, thirdly, sir, I wanted to bring up an issue. I like you. You're much better than the beanie-wearing other guy that's on YouTube that always hides his bald head, or the other guy and that blonde girl, the other conservatives. I prefer you because at least you're an honest man. Now, let me tell you, one thing I have to point out, though, is the fact is those hats you wear. We were watching your video. I'm trying to introduce you to people in San Francisco to bring you a bigger audience, to help out, and they see you wearing that hat. Do you know how many people you have triggered in Starbucks alone all over the city? No, I am not kidding. They go, you like this man? This man who has a MAGA hat on? I mean, some of them actually dropped their coffees. Some of them actually ran out. And I had to, and one good thing about San Francisco is they started putting safe spaces around. So these people actually ran into their safe spaces, and they told me they hyperventilated for 30 minutes. And I felt guilty because I introduced you to them. I did that.
Hey, I mean, I can't help them for just being overly sensitive. I mean, it's just a hat. I mean, it's not the end of the world. They'll be okay.
Well, why can't you wear something like, say, Sanders 2020? Give equal time to the Democrats. Because let me tell you one thing. Did you read in the news that the Boeing president just laid off 3,000 men and women in the company, and he just received a $162 million golden parachute? And you wonder, and your audience wonders, why Bernie is going to be our next president in 2020.
But isn't Bernie also rich? Doesn't he have multiple homes and cars and everything else? Isn't he a millionaire?
He's not LeBron James rich. He's not Jack Nicholson rich. What do you got, $1 million or $2 million? Do you know how much inflation $1 million is now? It can't even buy a decent car. So Bernie Sanders isn't mega rich. What he is, though, he's for the people. He is a man that, like Newsom in California, Newsom is starting a generic drug program. He's putting $900 million into a fund to the teacher shortage. That man is a godsend. And the only reason conservatives don't like him is because he doesn't put big business interests over the interests of the common man.
Well, hey, I mean, Bernie Sanders, that's not going to be, that's pretty much a non-starter. Even the DNC don't want him, just like happened in 2016. They pretty much X'd him out of the race in favor of Hillary Clinton, and we saw what it worked out for them.
Well, it's because Bernie Sanders is a man who has a vision. Donald Trump had almost single-handedly destroyed Atlantic City back in 1980s, pulling out of the Taj Mahal, pulling out of his other casinos. He is a man that has dealt with unsavory characters. I don't know this for sure, but if you're a developer in New York, come on, you know what I'm saying? So the thing is Donald Trump is not the whistle clean. None of them are whistle clean. That's what I'm saying. But in San Francisco, we have led the nation. As you see, we are the golden jewel of the West Coast, and we are leading the nation in progressivism.
And drug abuse, and drug abuse, and doo-doo on the ground. And
that's wagging the dog.
Property crime.
Made up. Mr. Walden, let me ask you one thing real quickly. When's the last time you were in Frisco?
Never been there.
Well, that's what I mean, see? That's like saying I don't like zucchini, but I never tasted one.
Well, I don't think eating a bowl of human waste would be good either, and I've not tried it.
Well, because there is none. If you would go to San Francisco, you'd be sniffing on the ground like a St. Bernard going, where's the poop? Where's the poop? The point is there is no poop. If they're showing the same neighborhood over and over and over again. Tucker Carlson lives in the richest neighborhood in Washington. Of course there's not going to be any poop in his neighborhood. But that's what San Francisco. Come to Frisco. We'll welcome you with open arms. We're very loving people. We're very progressive people. We believe in human rights. And anybody who doesn't believe that needs to come out there and see it. It's like New York. De Blasio has made it into a summer festival again.
Come on. Let's stop playing. Let's stop.
I'm not playing. That's the thing. I'm not trolling. I'm not playing. This is my beliefs. You go to Manhattan. You go to Central Park. It looks beautiful. The carriages are clocking in the streets.
Okay.
The people are celebrating. The Broadway shows are packed. Don't fearmonger because Fox News tells you the cities are crumbling. If that was the case, why is Fox News headquarters in New York City? Why don't they go to Dubuque, Iowa?
Hey, I mean, that's where a lot of things happen. But at the same time, there's a lot of problems in New York. But this has been a great call, but I got to get to a few more. Thank you for the call. Definitely appreciate you.
Thank you for taking my call, sir. Lose the hats. It'll be much better for you. Good night, sir.
All right, now. All right. That caller, I can't tell. Like, some people, they're like that for real. So I don't know if he's just playing the character, if he's trolling, or if he's, like, dead serious. I can't even really call it. But let me get to the next call. All right, 4951. You're on the line.
Yo, buddy. This is Stan, your biggest fan, the Canadian man from Germany lands.
All righty, man. What's going on?
Yeah, we talked once before. Listen, I'm going to take you off topic a little tiny bit here. I just wanted to get your take on the police in the States calling Extinction Rebellion an extremist group. In my opinion, these environmentalists are, using the environment as sort of like a baseball bat to like beat everybody up. And in my opinion, they're just it's like a form of Marxism. So I wanted to get your take on that, and I won't take up any more of your time. Just wanted to get your take on that, if you would. Please.
Now, I've heard of them, but I don't know a lot about them. Now, I have a question for you. Are they similar to PETA in the way they operate, or are they worse?
Oh, no. They're these people who wear, like I don't know if you've seen them on YouTube before, but, they got these women who are walking around with, red dresses on. They look like I don't know. They look like something from Star Wars or something from the from the Empire or something. You know what I mean? Like these these imperial guards with these like long red dresses on or something like that, and they're they're going around, you know what I mean, doing all these protests and screaming and wailing, and they're just weird. You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah. I mean, I could pretty much picture how they operate. Yeah, I mean, these groups get way out of control. They pretty much do whatever.
Have you seen them?
I think I've seen some of these people. I just Googled them just now, and they kind of look, the typical. I saw a guy with a white guy with some green dreads, so that's pretty much yeah. But I kind of have seen them around.
Buddy. Bizarre.
Yeah. So I don't know a lot about them, but I wouldn't be surprised if they were into some extremism, just like Antifa, and really Peter's like the same way. I'm being from Virginia. Peter's Peter's headquartered in Norfolk, which is like right there. They talk about I think they tried to attack AOC for not having a purebred dog, but meanwhile, when you go to their shelter, they'll kill dogs when they've been there too long. So it's kind of strange. But yeah, I think they use this whole thing about their environment to just go out there and do weird things. It's strange.
Well, I personally think that it's Marxism in disguise. That's that's my personal opinion. So I just wanted to get your your take on it. Like I just think that they're just using this issue to push their own agenda. Like I said, like a baseball bat to beat people up with. You know what I mean? To make people feel bad. To push their agenda. But anyways, I just wanted to get your opinion on it. I don't know. I mean, yeah. Maybe you'll look it up and do something about it later.
Yes, I will, because it's pretty interesting in a different kind of way. So I will look them up and do something.
Yeah, you definitely should check it out, bud.
Definitely.
All right, thanks a lot, man. Much love.
All right, thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Peace.
All right, so Extinction Rebellion. That's a little logo right there. What is that? Like a is that supposed to be like a what do they call it? What is that called? The time thing? I forget. I'm losing the word. I know what it is, but I've just forgotten what it is right now. Yeah, so I'm not really understanding what's going on. Okay, let's go ahead and get to some more calls. The number to call is 434-658-1220. And let's go 614. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to? 614.
Hello?
Yes.
ABL?
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. It's Peter from Australia.
All righty, what's going on?
Can we talk about World War III?
We talk about whatever you want to talk about, but first, how's everything over there? Are you good? The fires, are they affecting you?
Yeah, no, I'm in Brisbane. We've got a smoke haze that is all over the city. There are bushfires outlying from here, but the worst places are New South Wales and Victoria.
Okay.
Yeah, but we're fine here in Brisbane.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. Yeah, so I work in hospitality. I'm of a certain age, and the average age about the people I work with is probably about 22, 23, and they all went nuts this week going, oh, World War III's coming. And I'm like, well, no. My parents lived through the Cuban Missile Crisis, which they'd never heard of. The Solidarity uprising in Poland in 80-81, when the Russians threatened to invade, and Reagan wasn't going to put up with that. And there was a NATO exercise in 1985 where the Russians thought it was a feint, and they thought it was a real invasion. And it's like, no. They blew up this general. It's not going to be World War III.
Right. Nah, I mean, because the thing about wars is that you had a lot of countries that were involved. And I don't think even Iran wants to start, because they know that it'd be bad overall. Right now, they're still suffering with the sanctions. That's bad. And then you try to get into a war the sanctions will still be there, and you got to try to fight a war. It's just not really going to make a whole lot of sense for them to do. So, they want to avoid that at all costs. But at the same time, they're doing some of these little proxy wars, little fighting, but it won't really get beyond that.
No, and one of the other commentators on YouTube the other day listed off everything you guys have got in the military, and it's like they wouldn't stand a chance. They'd be gone in like a week.
Oh yeah, like the weaponry we have is just so advanced. The technology we have is so advanced. Just like when the Iranians shot their own plane down, unfortunately, it killed all those innocent people. The U.S. saw that the Iranians lock onto it before they did it.
It was like as soon as it happened, it was, everyone agreed. They were on a hair trigger. They just thought America would react. And of course, the thing about Trump is he doesn't. He's so unpredictable. That's what confuses everybody.
Right, exactly. But that's what I like. I like the fact that he does things differently. I think once you get to kind of see his pattern, you can kind of get a feel for what he does. Some things are not going to really fit into a particular box, but ultimately, what he's going to try to do. He's going to try to go for peace. That's been his main thing since the beginning. He's been pretty consistent. Now, there's been some things like killing the general. Like, okay, where are we going with this? But it didn't get too far. Like, you think it's going to go off the edge, but he kind of just rolls it on back when it needs to be rolled back.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there was that time, what was that, a couple of months ago where I think there were certain people pushing him to do something to Iran, and he backed off because he didn't want to kill people. And that confused the rest of the world. They thought, oh, no, he's a warmonger. He's going to go for it. No, he didn't.
Right, exactly, 100%.
And the other thing, if you've got time...
Yeah, sure, let's go for it.
Your Ilhan Omar?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody seems to want to speak about it. And as I say this, if it's too contentious and you want to cut me off, go for it. I get the impression her loyalty is to Islam. It's not to your country. I don't think it's even to her state. Outrages happen, and she says nothing. It's the same thing with Sadiq Khan in London, the mayor. It's the same thing with a broadcaster we have here in Australia called Waleed Ali. And every time there is an outrage, it's don't jump to conclusions. Please don't paint everyone with the same brush, etc., etc., etc.
Right, exactly. Yeah, I think you're correct about that, especially with Ilhan Omar. This whole thing with Islam, that's pretty much her whole shtick. And anything dealing with Islam, she must try to protect. And she is walking. She's like, she always does things differently than what she says. When they were talking about should we be, trying to figure out if there's any Islamic extremists in the United States, trying to investigate that, she was like, well, what about the white extremists? The white man is the most terrible. Then here she is leaving her husband, brother, or whatever the case may be to get with the campaign manager or whoever he was, the white guy, to get money to funnel through him to give back to herself. So she's always into some kind of corruption, always trying to defend Islam. And then she can engage in the corruption because she's Islamic and she hides behind that shield.
And but the thing is, no one ever seems to call her out on it. Is it because it's a subject no one can go near because they'll be accused of something?
Well, yeah, like it's a couple of things. The Islamic thing she uses as a shield, and also because she is a minority, because she's African, she's black. So both of those things, and a woman on top of that. So if somebody tries to attack her, or you just want to attack the woman and the minority and the immigrant and the Muslim, there's so many layers of protection on her that people don't really want to attack her. And then if you do say something, you're instantly labeled as a racist, or a sexist or Islamophobe or something like that.
Yeah. I don't know why. Well, her and the others. I don't know why. I mean, I've been seeing things about what AOC is doing with the Democratic Party. She's withholding funds. I think you guys call it your primary someone.
What do you mean?
And AOC, she's putting money into people who are going to kick out old-time Democrats.
Oh, yeah.
She's trying to make these radical Democrats get seats in the House.
Yeah, that's the whole objective.
Seems to be, and the Democratic Party just seems to be just sitting back and copying it.
I mean, what can they really do? I mean, I think at this point, AOC and the squad have taken control of the Democratic Party. Nancy Pelosi has no leverage. I mean, she's trying to hold back the articles of impeachment, but she's got to give them up because nobody cares. She has no leverage. The squad control the Democratic Party. So whatever they say pretty much goes. I don't think Nancy Pelosi even wanted to do the impeachment, but she got kind of goaded into it by the far leftist part of the party, and here we are today.
No, that's the impression we got down here, is that she never wanted to go near that. Everyone was saying to her, if you go for this falls into Trump's hands and you are giving him the next election. And I thought she had a certain amount of power, but it just like she gave into these young idiots.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just went along with it. It's not going to work. It's going to go to the Senate, and the Senate's going to chuck it in the bin.
Correct. Instantly.
Yeah. Anyway, ABL, thank you very much for your time, as always.
And thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Hey, thank you for letting me rant at you.
It's all good, man. Thank you for the call.
Thanks, ABL. Bye-bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller from Australia. Hopefully everything is going to be okay with those fires down there. And shout out to the Americans who traveled to Australia to help them with, with the fire. And I think Australia did a great thing when they welcomed them. On a Sydney Opera House, they had this big mural of the firefighters that had come from America and said thank you. So that was a great gesture by the Australians. Shout out to them. Great people. And our super chat I need to read right quick before we get to the next call. Thank you to Brazilian American patriotic soldier who says Bolsonaro and his sons made great videos praising Trump for not tolerating Iran's regime, and the left say they stand by Trump. Make sure to watch ABL. Will do. Thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Jake PV1 for your donation. Definitely appreciate you, boss. Shout out to Brazilian American patriotic soldier who says, liar, I'm in Manhattan now. It's the worst ever. Talking about that guy, talking about Manhattan is so fantastic under one Bill de Blasio, who was hated by a lot of New Yorkers. I'm not sure if it's everybody, but people in New York don't like this guy. A lot of them don't. But anyway, thank you to Juliana Oliver for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Lizzie Isaac for your donation who says, Anthony, just want to give you some love from my husband and I from San Antonio, Texas. Big fans, enjoy your show. Keep up the good work. Thank y'all for your donation and for your support. I definitely appreciate y'all both. Shout out to, hold on. Let me see. Did I get everybody? Shout out to Bjorn Gamogard. Hopefully I pronounced your name correctly. You're Danish guy. He says, this Sunday here in Denmark, Copenhagen, there will be a demo where people will gather, light a candle, and mourn for the terrorist Soleimani. What's your thought on that? That is absolutely ridiculous. I mean, but this is what happens when you get these kind of leftist nut jobs in a place. They do things like this. And you got to just sit down and think. When people say, oh, Hitler, he wasn't a leftist. He wasn't, Democrat, socialist. Oh, that doesn't really mean anything. He was a right-wing extremist. I can't tell. Look at what the left supports right now. Separate spaces for certain races. BDS when it comes to Israel. Supporting terrorists. These kind of people that are out there, these kind of soft-spoken liberals and Democrats can become extremists and then become a guy like Soleimani. You see what I'm saying? But thank you for the donation. I definitely appreciate you. Shout out to Dingus who says VCDL is a Virginia Civil Defense League, and they're the ones who organized the 85 plus Second Amendment sanctuary counties. Okay, got it. Thank you to Insanity Pepper, who also says VCDL equals Virginia Civil Defense League Pro TA organization. Thank you to Spencer Christopher, who says, keep up the good fight, my man. Will do. Thank you for your donation. Thank you to Stephen B for your donation. I definitely appreciate you as well. I think I got everybody right there. You guys have been great tonight. The number to call is 434-658-1220. Thank you to Valerie Rogers, who says, Americans are tired of the radical left. Yes, we are. We had just about enough of it. 100%. But let me get to the next call, and that's going to be 845. You're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yeah, Hank.
Hank? No, this is Anthony. Who am I speaking to?
No, you're speaking to Hank.
Oh, okay. What's going on?
What's going on? How are you?
Everything's great. About yourself?
I've been a fan for a long time, about a year.
All right. Hey, I'm glad you glad you're watching the videos. Glad you're enjoying it.
Yeah, it's good stuff. So my question is to you, where do you think Americans have come to hate America like they seem to do on the left? Like, where did this stem from? Like, I mean, I love my country. I know we have flaws, but where did this come from?
Well, I think it's come from too long of having peace in the place, too long of having prosperity, and then indoctrination. A lot of it comes from the educational system. People feeling guilty about how well they're doing in comparison to others. Since we're not...
That's a great point.
Yeah.
That's a great point. I think guilt has something seriously to do with it. Like, even like white guilt and trying to determine how other people have to feel, I think is a big issue. I think, I don't think this country is as bad as people are making it out to seem. Like, I watch a lot of YouTube videos, mostly conservative, because that's what I am, and you are as well. And I don't know. It's just sad, the state of affairs right now. Like, how are you anti-American and living in this country and prospering off our country?
Yeah, it doesn't make any sense, but that guilt is something strong. People feel like they don't deserve what they have. They feel like someone else deserves it. And when they see other people in the country maybe not doing very well and they're doing very well, and then again they get indoctrinated. They go to school and they hear about American imperialism, how we did X, Y, and Z to the natives, all these kind of things that are kind of beat into your head from an early age. Then you go to college, it's more of the same. So you kind of become just brainwashed into believing that you don't deserve what you have in America. Capitalism is bad. Communism is better. And then it gets to the point where you have disdain for America. Although you're not really going to leave because you understand what you have. It's a weird situation where people can just have that cognitive dissonance. But it is what it is.
It is. It's weird. I mean, we should all be for each other. I really believe that. And there's a lot of hate going on, and I can't stand it. I mean, I love everybody, and until I'm proven wrong, and I just, there's so much vitriol and hate and discord and
yeah,
it's driving me nuts. It's sad. It's a sad state of affairs. I don't understand why we're not together as a nation. I mean, what's wrong with making America great or keeping America great?
I mean, it should be a good thing. It should be a thing that we all.
But it seems like a bad thing.
And that's what it seems like to some people. We should all rally around that because we're all Americans. We should want the country to be great, to be the best it can be. That shouldn't be a thing that's seen as racist or anything like that. But again, it goes down to indoctrination. They talk about it in school how it's bad, and the media as well.
Schools,
the media is a big part of it.
Horrible.
Yeah.
When I first woke up, I guess you could say, to seeing what the media did and lying, you can't unsee it. But so many Americans don't see it. And how do we get that to them? Because we're you're a loving person, I am too. So how do we get them to not hate? It's a weird thing.
Yeah, it's not going to be easy. I mean, the main thing I would say is just provide alternative information, especially when people are young. If you got kids or, your aunt, your uncle or something like that, just get them when they're young and just go about it that way. And hopefully others do the same thing. Like encourage people that have kids to do the same thing with their kids, and hopefully it can just go out of that way, because you can't rely upon the schools. You're going to public, maybe even private schools could be the same way. Colleges the same thing. You can't rely upon them to.
No,
give,
I know.
It's like when your child comes home, you got to debrief them from what they learned in school. You know. Okay, all right, Timmy. What did you talk about in school today? We talked about Barack Obama, how he was best president ever. We talked about how America was so bad and imperialist. It's like, okay, well, here's real information, and then just build on it that way. Because when these kids grow up, it's hard to really break that type of messaging that they got from a young age. It's like learning the language for the first time. You're gonna speak that language the best all throughout your life, but once you get to be an adult, it's harder to learn new. You still have an accent from your first language. It's very hard to just make a move to a whole new language and a whole new way of living. So get them when they're young. That's my message.
Yeah, no doubt. So I live up here in the Northeast, and they say our votes don't count, and they really don't, because we're so overwhelmed. Also, as a side note, they say Trump didn't win the popular vote, but that's because people out here that are conservatives really don't turn out, because we know our vote is just not going to count, really, because we're overwhelmed. We're overwhelmed over here, and it's a sad state of affairs. It really, truly is. It's horrible.
Yeah,
it is tough. It's tough sledding up here.
Yeah, it's rough.
Really rough.
Like I saw Virginia kind of going down the wrong way, and where I live out here in Tennessee is much better. People are leaving. That might not necessarily be the solution, because if you go somewhere, people may follow you and they may have a wrong way of voting. So I'm not sure what we can do to kind of change that tide, except for get the youth while they're young, and maybe they can make a change when they get to be adults.
Yeah, it's all connected. But hey, it's great to talk to you. It's actually really great to talk to you. You inspire me, so thank you.
Well, thank you for your kind words and your call. Definitely appreciate you.
All right, have a good night.
Same to you. All right, shout out to the caller. And you guys on the drill, the number to call is 434-658-1220. And did I get everybody? Yeah, I got everybody. We got about a half hour left. You guys have been fantastic tonight. Thank you all for joining. I really, really appreciate you guys. If you're watching for the first time, I'm here every Wednesday and Saturday night from 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. I do my first hour of the show just talking, the second 2 hours taking calls. Alrighty, caller, can I say your name?
I'd rather you didn't. Thanks. You can call me Outcast.
Alrighty, Outcast. What's going on?
How are you, ABL?
I'm great. Can't complain.
Okay. Cool. Well, I'm calling you from Latin America, and I've been following you for quite a while now.
Well, thank you for the support, and thank you for the call. So what's on your mind?
Well, listen, I just wanted to tell you, whatever you guys do in America really affects the entire world. And, over here, I studied anthropology in the university here in South America. And a lot of the teachers that taught me sort of inherited all of this Marxist nonsense from universities in the States, and they came and they tried to brainwash everybody, and for the most part they did achieve that goal. And I find that a lot of the youth here in South America is basically behaving the same way the majority of the youth is behaving in the States. So I just wanted to call, and tell you guys that, and also tell you how much I appreciate you and all the other people who are sort of doing the counterpart to all this craziness, because your voice also reaches us, and it's it's a good and sane source of information. So yeah, well, things here are pretty messed up that way too, unfortunately.
So do you guys have any national sources of conservative news, or is it all pretty much just left and no other type of voice?
I would say most of it is left leaning. I mean, there are some news sources that are more conservative, but the same thing is happening here. Even though I'm from a Catholic country, and up to, I don't know, maybe a couple of decades ago, for the most part, people were very conservative. Nowadays, it's just you're shunned in society in general, and you're not. It's more difficult to get a job. It's more difficult to run a business, etc. If you are conservative in every way, like socially and in every way. You know what I mean? So yeah, that's happening here as well. And I don't know if you guys get a lot of news about what's going on in South America right now, but the left is trying to take over South America. And in the past few months, there's been a lot of turmoil, and you have people in Chile and in Argentina and all over the place trying to let this happen. But thankfully, and I've seen some people in your chat from Brazil, etc. Fortunately, there are some governments that are sort of weighing on the other end of the spectrum, and things are. I mean, there is some hope, but generally speaking, things aren't looking great here either.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, do you think things will be able to change, or not? And if they are to change, how would it happen?
Well, I do think things might change, and I think the way that change is happening is through people like yourself and people who are on social media, and people who are just being active in politics, and people who are sort of looking for other sources of information and other sources of education as well, because even private Catholic universities are completely taken over by the left, especially in the liberal arts and in the arts in general, economy, politics, etc. All that is very corrupt at the moment. But I for one, I'm sort of part of like a circle of people who are sort of just trying to do things in their day-to-day life in a different way, and you can see how that's actually generating some changes, like a ripple effect. So you have people, for example, a lot of people are taking their kids, well, I wouldn't say a lot, some people are taking their kids out of schools because the government-run schools are teaching them, the whole LGBTQ agenda, and all of that is happening here as well. So you have people doing a lot of homeschooling, which is sort of a new concept here in South America. And you have a lot of people, like young people who are, and simple things like getting married at a young age, and having, large families and all that sort of thing. And I think that could somehow make things better, but unfortunately, like the left is very corrupt here. It's definitely related to drug trafficking and all that, and it really does have a grip on society as a whole. And even though there are people working against that, it's like, for example, where I am, a very, like, an extreme leftist woman was chosen as the mayor, and if she does her job well, she might get elected president, and then you know what they say, well, something will hit the fan.
Yes.
Things will get really bad. Yeah. So yeah, that's the way things are here. But people here in South America are listening to you, and they're listening to other more, I don't know, just people who are not fanatics. You're a reasonable person, talking reasonably about things, and unfortunately that's a rarity nowadays. You don't really find that. So we're listening to you guys, and we appreciate that you guys are fighting back, because whatever happens in the States affects the entire world. And so all the efforts you guys make really, really help everybody else in the world as well.
Well, thank you for the call, and definitely appreciate you. I mean, and if you could tell the people in the States one thing about South America that we probably should know that we probably don't, what would it be?
Let's see, what would it be? I'm not sure, but yes, there's one thing, and it's a topic that I didn't say anything about in terms of immigration. I love President Trump. I think he's amazing, and I hate to sort of have to classify myself as that, but yes, I am a woman from from a third world country. I have tan skin or olive skin color, whatever you want to call it. Blah blah blah. I could care less. But being in that position, I am telling you that I fully support all of his policies in regards to the border, to close borders, because I mean, I'm sorry if I hope I don't offend anyone, but you know, you don't earn a bad reputation just because. I mean, if Latin Americans have a bad reputation, it didn't happen from one day to the next. And I know I come from a God-fearing, good, you know, family, but I also do know that we have very different culture to an Anglo culture, for example. We have different values, and for example, where I'm from, unfortunately, it's like if in the States, I think if you're growing up and you lie to someone or you steal from someone, you know, you're punished immediately. And here in my culture, sometimes you're even praised for doing it. And I know people from my city, from comfortable middle class who've never been affected by war, and who have gone to the States illegally to receive all of the benefits and to steal basically from the American government. And so that's what I would tell you, that I personally know people who have gone and as illegals without needing it, and just because they want to be economic migrants and to go and, you know, yeah, basically get fed and educated and being given free stuff by you guys, and especially in Canada as well. So yes, you guys close your borders, build that wall, do whatever you got to do. It's a good thing. That's the only thing I would add. Yeah.
All right, great call. Thank you for the call. Definitely
All
appreciate
right,
you.
thanks so much. Okay, take care. God bless. Bye-bye.
All right, now. All right, great call. Fantastic. I mean, it says it right there. I mean, I know folks from, you know, south of the border, South America, Central America, or whatever, and a lot of them, they kind of echo that. It's like, look, people aren't necessarily going there just because, oh, they're refugees and they want to get away. It's like you're going to travel like thousands of miles because you just got to have a safe place to stay. Come on. People are coming here a lot of times because of economic reasons. Now, are there real refugees that come here? Yes, there are some real refugees, but a lot of them are just trying to get money. It's simple. So, great call. Let's get to the next call here. 712, you on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Oh, you're speaking with me, Anthony. Hello, how are we doing today?
Everything's great, man. Can't complain.
Okay, great. Hey, this is like the third time in a row I've gotten a hold of you, which is great. If you get too big of an audience, I might have to go someplace else then.
No doubt.
That was a joke. That was a joke, though. Okay, I love your show. I love the way you do things. Hey, number one, I want to say was Nancy Pelosi and the fake news media. To me, they're unpatriotic. Sorry, you know what I see on the news, what I see what them saying about this dude that got killed over there, which I was over there and he was trying to kill us. Hey, that one guy, he was way off base. This guy was known to kill like 600 American soldiers. And then if you believe in the Iran thing, for instance, would be like, okay, number one, didn't they say when that plane got shot down that it was a mechanical problem at first? If I remember right?
That's correct.
Oh, right. Oh, no, there's evidence that came up that showed pictures of the plane with shrapnel on it. Well, we can't. They have, you know, I look at it like, well, we can't say the plane went off mechanicals. We're not going to give you the boxes. Okay, so, all right, we did do it. So number one, there's a lie right there. You know, just that one guy. I mean, you know who I'm talking about.
That's right.
That called up earlier. And then you had another call that called up like a couple calls behind him, or maybe right behind him. He was very educational. I was like amazed by listening to him, the words that he was saying of how piecing the puzzle together. He was a very interesting caller.
Oh yeah.
I just want to take a shout out to him. That I loved what he was saying. And also, I have a German Shepherd too. I have 3 of them. So I wanted to say that to him. Hey, then the next thing I want to talk about was, let's see here. Where should we go? I want to talk about a little bit about, well, I called you last week, or actually last time I called you a couple days ago. I said rules for, if I remember right, to qualify to be a leftist. Rule number 2 was basically, you need no guns. We will protect you, just like Benghazi. What I've heard with Virginia going on, basically, and, you know, our Constitution, to me, is probably very important. It's what Pelosi, it's what the Senate, it's what our president, it's what the ex-military people, still believe in. I'm also in the American Legions, our police officers, firemen, you know, public officials. You swore to protect the Constitution of the United States. In the Constitution of the United States is also, I have a right to bear arms. It doesn't say that it's for hunting. It's to, even in the Constitution, there's a place in there, if I remember, like National, let me see, what was it? National Treasure had something on it, if I remember, a movie. Basically it said, like, if the government ever gets out of hand, you ever gets to become a tyranny, you have a right to try to straighten that out, if I remember, something like that. I'm not quoting it right, but you know what I'm getting at. Now, we have, we got a big thing coming up in Virginia. And I know you talked about you might go there. I think that's on the 20th, if I remember right.
Yes.
It's on the 20th. Isn't that Martin Luther King Day?
I don't know.
I think so, but to me, he believed in civil rights. And it's the same thing that I believe, like our Second Amendment, that's our civil right. It's a right that's not to be infringed on. So what I've heard is that already there's 100 buses going right now. Someone's organizing it, but I heard there's something like there's 100 buses going. So basically, I look at, well, there's about 48, maybe 50 people a bus. There's 5,000 people right there. So I think it's going to be a lot. It's going to be a very big, large event.
Right.
So, I mean, I think that you're going to see a big turnout there myself. And I support them people. 100%.
Absolutely.
I'm here in Iowa. If I have to go and help them, whatever. So I just wanted to say that I support them. I think it's probably one of the biggest things that we need to stop this. I mean, how many laws already got on the record books? Come on. We're all going to be criminals, I guess. I guess what they want to do is all the people that probably are conservatives that basically believe in our gun rights. Well, you take all our guns away, make us felonies, which in making us felonies, basically we can't vote. So is that what their achievement they're trying to achieve? You know, I'm glad that a lot of sheriffs are standing up to this, because the sheriffs are in there also, if I remember, in the Constitution. They are voted in, so they are actually your first line of defense against the state and federal governments. So I just want to shout out to all the sheriffs and just remind sheriffs that's their obligation too, is to protect the Constitution of the United States. If that means you have to deputize everybody in that county, deputize them.
That's right.
So that's right. Now I want to get on AOC. One of the biggest things I've seen, I just got done seeing something about AOC's got like $15 million, I think it was. The people from out of state that donated to her campaign, and she's basically kind of like flipping the bird to Nancy Pelosi and the Democrat Party for not paying her dues. Have you ever heard about that one?
No.
Well, basically, she's saying that they want her to pay her dues or give a portion of that money to help other candidates out, and she's like, "No, I'm not going to do that. I'm just basically, I'm not going to do it. I've got people running against me in a primary right now that she thinks that, and probably is true, that the Democrat Party is putting some people up to run against her.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
also got some good Republican personnel that I can following one gal basically. She's on the Republican side. I'm going to try to help her out. I'm going to see how she goes. But anyhow, she's got some competition there. So, but she's telling, like, the rest of the party, like, no, I'm not going to pay my dues. which is to me, it's like, hey, this is great. I'm glad to see something like this, because you know what, this is what they want for their face, which is great. Fine, you want to put her in front of the face, front of the camera, everything. That let's see what the hell this comes out. I'm just kind of curious how. And then my thought is, if Nancy would happen to win the next House Speaker again, hope to God we don't see that. But if she would happen to see it, or if she don't, I'd like to see what type of committees this woman, if AOC happens to win, with not contributing to the Democrat Party, I'd like to see what type of committees she might or probably not be on.
That's right. Well, I thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
You bet. You take care. AOC. Anthony.
ABL. There you go. I got you.
ABL. I get to your number.
Thank you for the call, man.
You take care, and you have a good evening too.
All right. Same to you.
You bet. Bye bye.
All right. Shout out to the caller. Got the old school. Got the, you know what I mean. All right. Let's get to the next call. 843. You on the line? Who am I speaking to?
ABL, it's Tyler. How we doing, buddy?
Everything's good, man. Can't complain.
Hey, I wanted to get your take. Good topics tonight with everything going on last week or so. It's nice to get a little break from it. But, yeah, man, this thing going on in Virginia, what do you think about getting something going to go ahead and get this thing started and get them to be part of West Virginia and just let them have that northeast chunk up there, and then, might as well just take Virginia Beach. Those are normal people. Those are good Americans. I've been over to Virginia Beach. They can come too. People, West Virginia was started for a reason, and it might have to come to that for the people of Virginia, Central Virginia.
Yeah, I think it might. Because I've been saying that for a long time, because really the whole problem here is Northern Virginia. That's the main problem. We can survive without Northern Virginia. You got a lot of economics in Hampton Roads, Richmond, Roanoke, even West Virginia to a certain extent. We can just, put all that together, and then once you get past like Fredericksburg and maybe even as west as Loudoun County, that can be incorporated maybe into Maryland or become its own state or something, because like that is the issue with Virginia right now. That's the key right there in DC, that and the surrounding area.
Yeah, there's too many normal people. I'm a descendant of Virginia, Southwest Virginia, West Virginia, all up through the Tug Valley.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's offensive that we have to run out of our own country and they're so quick to tell us and try and divide us, but it's black and white. Everybody knows that. That's from there. Everybody knows that. It's only the idiots from the coast that think West Virginia and all these places are racist. There's black folks in West Virginia, all out through southern Ohio, all down and through that. No problems for years and years, side by side.
Oh, yeah.
I've been in an interracial marriage for 21 years.
Yeah.
I'm a redneck married to a beautiful black woman. She's proud of her heritage, and there's no reason not to be. So I think if we stick together, being the Americans, the true Americans, kind of like the last of the Mohicans, that's what we are now, bro. We're the last of the Americans.
That's right.
And,
that's right. These
people, we got to stand up for ourselves and let people know it. Like we done shed blood here for too long. We know who we are. All of us know who we are, and it's offensive out there. And one thing I just want to say real quick to the people calling from other countries, everybody's got to understand one thing that they're all talking about, and that's envy to the United States. They're envious for a reason, and it's our freedom, and it's our right to bear arms. Those poor guys in England, Australia, they don't even have their guns anymore. What kind of man ain't got a gun? You know what I mean? We're Americans, for God's sakes. We got to start acting like it. But keep it up, bro. Trump 2020. Let's do this thing.
Yes, sir, man.
Take care.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you for the call.
All right, now.
Great call from my man. Hey, I was born in West Virginia. Got a lot of my family out there. I got a lot of, like, the interracial stuff is nothing new. That's just, it's like people from the coast would think, oh, you guys, you're racist. Nah, it's not even like that. Like you said, we live side by side and it's all good. It's cool. Just like a prime example would be Randy Moss, Jason Williams. If you ever heard Jason Williams talk, straight redneck. Randy Moss sound just like him. It's the racial thing is not really that deep, because we, at the end of the day, we all Americans. We can live side by side. When you're talking about the liberal areas, the areas with a lot of money, then race becomes more important. But it's not so much when you just, a regular person. But let me get to the next call. 509, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey.
Hello?
ABL?
Yes?
This is Francis from Spokane, Washington.
Alrighty. Give me a little bit of space in between yourself and the phone for me. That'd be good.
I'm sorry?
Okay, go ahead.
I just want to say, first off, I appreciate your show. I've been watching you quite a while. Anyway, I was kind of talking about that Iranian, Ukrainian air crash. And that man who called, the second one, who had all the degrees and all the information, I really appreciate that man calling. Anyway, I looked up the people on the plane that had been killed, and it was very interesting that first off, there was no U.S. citizens on there, and people that were on there were like 90% dual citizens from different countries. You can see the breakdown on any channel that you can find it. But what was interesting and what kind of correlates to what that man was saying was that these dual citizenships, many of them are either called economic immigrants. They buy their dual citizenship into different countries, and they're like more than dual citizens. Many times have many citizenships, many passports. Anyway, I'm not saying any particular one, but what they do, like the man was saying, is they kind of work with like a covert system of laundering money and moving arms and drugs and all this other stuff they do, making lots of money. And, not like you and I just have to work or whatever. These people are like making, this is like standard in their countries what they do. Anyway, that's what that man was talking about. And it was interesting that if they got shot down by the Iranians, it's because none of them were really Iranian. I mean, like common, everyday kind of citizens. They're from all over.
Caller. Do you have the stream on in the background? Because I'm getting the echo. It's kind of hard to hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have it on a little bit. Yeah.
So, all right. So turn that off and then back up a little bit from the phone because it's kind of hard. It's kind of like you're real close to the phone. So back up a little bit so I'll be able to hear you. Okay.
Well, I just looked this up about the people, the souls on board that died. And I don't know if you've looked up into it. There's information about them dual citizenships and being all over the world, opening all kinds of weird brokerage and banks and kind of like pseudo companies and all this other stuff in order to avoid the sanctions that was going on. And these are like, people who make it like millions of dollars. We're not just talking common folk, okay? Anyway, I'm not saying all the people on board were like that, but that's how they do it in these countries. And I don't know. I just want to throw that out there. People can look it up their own selves, but it seems like nobody's commenting on that part of the plane, or, what was going on there. Because why would anybody in a state of war jump on a plane in the first place? Because they had to get out of there. Anyway, I thought I'd throw that at you in your audience.
Well, I thank you for the call. I definitely appreciate you.
All right, well, have a happy New Year and peace.
All right, now, peace. All right, shout out to the caller. And we got some more calls. Let's get to the next one. 703, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Yep. How you doing?
Everything's good. I got a little bit of feedback. Turn your speakers on in the background for me, please.
Yeah. Hi, this is Chris Katie.
Caller, listen to what I'm saying. The stream is on in the background and it's causing feedback. I can hear it. So can you turn it off for me?
I'll stop it. Hold on a sec. Kill that, please. Yeah, this is Chris Katie. I was calling in about the same thing that's going on in Virginia.
Alrighty, go for it.
I'm an engineer that worked with NASA and also the president before as a IT guy. And this is a serious thing.
Okay, so from your point of view, like, what do you think is happening here? Like, what makes it a very serious thing from your point of view?
It's a revolution. It's a way of what they're doing in the democratic process right now is they're trying to change our right to have arms, and I don't have arms, and I don't have a gun. But this is number 2 in the Constitution. And I think this is going to lead to a death. I think men are going to stand up, and I think somebody's going to be killed. And I think that's going to become really important. Like a second shot around the world, unlike the first one that was shot.
Mm-hmm.
And this is going to change things. And that's what I see.
So, okay, now, if there is some type of, serious incident that happens, what will be the result of that, in your opinion?
I think there is going to be a serious thing that happens. I think that different counties or a county is going to get involved. I know that militias are forming in Virginia. I know of 3. And men will stand up, and somebody's going to get killed. So on a grand stage of what happens in the news, someone's going to die.
Okay.
And that's going to mean something.
But see, my question would be, if that happens, which I pray that it doesn't, because I don't want to see any kind of violence, and I can't condone that. If that were to happen, what would be the result, in your opinion?
My opinion is that the United States, not the world, but the United States will see, and other militias around the country will see that happen. And they will get enforced. And they will work together. And it will become worse. Because they will see it as a thing that happens for freedom and fighting for the Constitution. And this will become a trickle down, and it will become a problem. Because as soon as one man or one woman who stands up, and it doesn't matter, and I know that, the Virginia government is actually trying to hire mercenaries to go to, 25 right now, to go to places to take guns where the Virginia actual, sheriffs are saying, we will not take guns. So they're basically hiring mercenaries to do this. There will be a confrontation. Someone will be shot. To me, that's what's going to happen. And to me, that will resonate around the entire United States. And then the other militia in Ohio and everything else will gravitate to where? I mean, it's almost obvious. They will come to help. But then that will become a problem. And that will be where either Trump has to stand in or not. And that's what I think is happening. Because I do not see Virginians standing down. We have never stand down from the Revolutionary War. We've never stand down from the Civil War. I just do not see that happening.
Well, hey, I mean, hopefully it doesn't go to that particular length. And I think that if something were to happen, what I think my opinion would be that the laws that are going to be on the books, or some that are already on the books, they try to walk that back because they don't want to have any further issues. But thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
Yeah, what I think is going to happen is they're going to pass the laws because that's what the Democrats are going to do because they got in office. But I think what really is going to happen is Virginia's going to fight, and somebody's going to get killed.
Well, I thank you for the call, man. Definitely appreciate you.
All right. Have a good night.
All right. Now, I don't think nobody's going to get killed. Nah, it ain't going to be like that. They already know what happened with the whole Charlottesville situation. They don't want to repeat. So it's going to be very tight security. It ain't going to be nothing like that. I think the main thing will be that the world, and of course the state, the governor, will see that we're not just going to accept all these new rules and laws that are going to be put on the books, or that could be put on the books. All right, that's just kind of what it is. All righty. I think I got time for one last call here. Then I wrap it on up, put a nice bow on the top. 404, you're on the line. Who am I speaking to?
Hey, Bernie from Ohio. I don't know how that troll guy from San Francisco keeps cutting through, man. I've been trying to call you for weeks. I want to keep it short and sweet for you. I don't want to eat up a bunch of time. My question is, why has the Las Vegas shooting dropped off the radar, and it was immediately almost dropped off the radar, and why is nobody asking questions and finding out what happened there? Love your show. Talk to you later, bro. Bye.
Thank you for the call. That's a very good question because that was a crazy incident, horrific incident. I mean, and then it was so many questions that have gone unanswered. How did this man bring all them guns in there into the hotel room, and how was he just shooting forever and nobody? I mean, a lot of questions that needed to be answered that have not been answered as of yet. At least I've not seen them be answered. If you've seen these questions be answered, you let me know, but I've not seen them answered. Okay. I think that will pretty much be a wrap. Thank y'all for joining. You guys have been great tonight. Great show as always. The best audience on the internet. It's the best audience in the world. You guys have been fantastic. Thank you to all the super chatters. Thank you to all the new members to the channel. Thank you to all the PayPal donators. Thank you to all the Patreon supporters. You guys are fantastic. The last super chats are as follows, if I got any more. Thank you to Sushi, who says, hey, ABL, just wanted to do a military weapon appreciation. Did you see Soleimani car? The hypersonic missile demolished it. I was impressed. USA #1. I did not see Soleimani's car, but hey, I'm throwing the weapons toward the pieces. But thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. Thank you to Beach Jedi 101, who says, fantastic stream tonight. ABL crew with the horns, the cow horns. Thank you for your donation. I definitely appreciate you. And I think that is all for the super chats that I gotta get. You guys have been great stream as always. Again, if you're a first time viewer, I will be here every Wednesday and Saturday night live streaming from 8 p.m. Eastern to 11 p.m. Eastern. And I do pre-recorded videos all throughout the week. I try to do 2 a day, but if it ain't enough content, then it's not enough content. But I try to put out something every day on the channel about the latest news topics and whatever else is going on, and socially, politically, whatever the case may be. That'll be a wrap for me. What we got going on? That's pretty much everything. Shout out to all the moderators. You guys do a great job. Of course, we got Ansel, we got Sushi, we got True Helper. I see you in the chat, boss. Bill from the Hills, Michelle A. All you guys, you do a fantastic job keeping them trolls in check. And that is all I got. So, did I miss anything? I got the super chats, I got the mods, I got the show promo. Oh, and if you've liked what you heard in the show, please like the video, share the video, and if you're not subscribed already, I don't know what you're doing. Go ahead and subscribe right now. Hit the subscribe button and then click the bell right beside the subscribe button so you get notified if I go live or post a new video. But that will be it for me. So until next time, y'all be safe. I'm out, and peace.